Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome, Central Illinois and all points east, west, or north and south on YouTube to Breakfast with Roger and Friends on this beautiful Wednesday morning. It's the 16th of July, and we say a pleasant good morning to Terry Chamberlain. Good to see you, Terry, this morning.
Good morning.
And Gary Hall is here as well. Hi, Gary. Good. Oh, boy, you just blew the needle off the. Yeah.
Wake everybody
No,
up.
you're supposed to when you say when you're going to yell, you move back from the microphone.
Roger, that was not yelling. You want to hear me yelling?
Yeah. I hate to hear what it was like. Hey, good morning to you. Good to see you. And our sports guy Tyrus is on the way from Princeville. You know, once again they've talked about fog, or some have. I had no fog at all this morning. Now that doesn't mean my little world doesn't reflect the entire world for that matter. But Gary, you don't live too far from here. No fog, and Terry, you're even closer, aren't you?
Yep, no
I
fog.
wonder about the Prince of Princeville. He'll give us a fog report when he comes in. Well, here's the big question. The fair opened yesterday. All those in the studio who went to the fair, raise their hand. Well, we're 0 for 3. Yeah.
When Tyrus comes in, it'll be over.
I think, yeah, it'll be 0 for 4. I doubt whether Tyrus Killiam went to the fair or not. I'm worried about it. I've tried to get a hold of Phil Salzer. He's been on the board for umpteen years. You said he's been out in Philadelphia?
Yeah, they went to Philadelphia for some kind of a thing. And he told me about it yesterday when I called about the quiz.
Mm-hmm. And we do have a quiz coming up. And Phil, if you're listening, it will not be baseball. We have the
Baseball's
right.
been very, very good to you.
Well, I know, but I've heard from women say, you do too much sports in the morning, and when you have a quiz, you want people to play along with. We haven't heard from Steve Shaw lately, and he's been one of those that likes to play along at his home in Morton, and it gives people a chance. But if you narrow it down to just one category, that's not fair to women who I think like to, join us in, if not by phone, at least at home or in the car or whatever the case may be. So we're going to do the cornucopia of questions once again as an example. So you can get ready for it. How many states can be eyeballed on a clear day from on top of Tennessee's Lookout Mountain? Isn't that a great question? How many states? Hang on to that. Hang on to that. I'm not going to say whether you're correct or incorrect.
Okay.
Gary, but
we'll hold that
at the bottom of the hour, we will do our quiz, and we hope folks from far and wide will join
Roger.
us. Well, I want to say before, just a minute, I want to say before we get too far in that one of our sometimes listeners from Kansas City are joining in this morning, and that's Lori and her daughter Bree. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, what were you going to say?
You should play that song "Going to Kansas City"
by Harrison Ford.
I'll have to think of something else.
Yeah,
I had the name of it anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh. Sunday they had the final goodbye to the paparazzi, and
Oh, I wanted to
That's how it
do that. Yeah.
yes, and
What do you do? In case people don't know, that is a famous restaurant for many, many years,
Bruce Brown.
run by former Councilman Bruce Brown, who also ran for mayor and was barely defeated, won the primary, but lost to Dick
Carver
Carver.
was in the Marine Corps.
That's right. Did he take that picture that we have on the wall?
Yes, he did.
I thought that was his work. But anyway, so Sunday you went to say goodbye to paparazzi.
Yes, and there was a plethora
Of people.
of people there. I mean, you went in and they had shrimp and kinds of Treskers and
Was it free? Was the food free?
the food was free
Oh, gee,
and
then I missed it.
the bar was free. Everything was free.
The bar free?
Yeah, it was open bar.
Well, you know, you probably want to get rid of all the
Get rid of
alcohol.
any
That made
alcohol
sense.
And he got a proclamation from the mayor of
Peoria Heights.
Peoria Heights, and he read it. The mayor did, and
Well, that was great. What time did all this start?
it started at 1 o'clock and it was over with a little after 4.
Oh, wow. What was I doing Sunday that I missed that? Well, anyway, did you have a good time? You probably saw a lot of people you know and a lot of people you didn't know.
Yeah. When a lot of the honor guard was there, and he wanted all Marines, so I wasn't on the honor guard. And for another reason
Well,
too.
boo, you know, and honor guard should be a plethora of services.
But well, no, it was, since he was a Marine.
No, but I said should have been.
Suggestion was made for the Marines, but yeah, they were all standing outside, so I thought I'm gonna go inside. I walked inside, and there was people that, of course, when I got that I'd forgotten was even around Peoria, coming up to me, "Hey Gary, how you doing?" Okay, shaking hands and stuff. I mean, there's a lot.
So you had a good time.
I had a good time.
I'm happy for you.
There wasn't enough seats, I think, because as I was watching, people were taking stuff with them, like chairs and
Really? You mean to take home?
yes.
So did you have a hard time getting all of them in your car?
I didn't take
No,
any.
you didn't take any. All right, good.
He was autographing photos of different things that he had done. And
well, you know, as I recall, they had some things, paintings on the walls. Were they being taken by the people who were there? Do you know?
There was a sign when I walked in that says, "Everything must go,"
including us.
That's right.
Well, I'm sorry that I missed it, and happy that you went and had a very good time.
Yep,
what was that?
Something fell over there.
Oh, okay.
Lord knows what it might have been for whatever. At any rate, Tyrus has called in, says you may be a little late, but not too late for sports. In the meantime, let's give you the latest we have in our word of the news. And we'll start with a check of the weather brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. They've been providing quality care for people in their Central Illinois homes for over 30 years now. They have a great staff of nurses, therapists, and home care assistants available to care for your loved one safely and comfortably. And their phone number 309-245-0723. Well, this is going to be quite a day and quite a night for that matter. A couple of days, sunny and hot today. High of 93 with the heat index reaching 103. There's a good chance, a very good chance for showers and thunderstorms today, so be aware of that. More of the same tonight with a low 70. Tomorrow, cloudy and not as hot, a high of 78. 30% chance for rain tomorrow. Friday, cloudy, 82, and Saturday, cloudy. Showers and thunderstorms on Saturday, and the high 88. Currently, we are at 74 degrees. And now the news, and here's Terry.
41-year-old Aaron Rossi, former head of Renatus Laboratories, was sentenced to 3 years and a month after he was found guilty of defrauding insurance companies as well as the state of Illinois. Rossi's company did COVID testing, but not to the extent of how much he billed the companies, which amounted to an estimated $300 million. He's currently serving a 5-year sentence for mail and tax fraud. The Morton man has been in jail for 2 years.
A Peoria County grand jury has indicted 3 persons for the death of 20-year-old Terrence Scott, 20-year-old Christopher Adams, 18-year-old Cameron Bell, and 17-year-old Lamar Cagle have been charged with first-degree murder. They allegedly shot Scott and another person in the 300 block of MacArthur Highway last month. Police found Scott dead in a vehicle that crashed following the shooting. That second person has since recovered from injuries he sustained in that incident.
East Peoria police say 2 young girls, 10 and 11, were hit by a car at the intersection of Sunrise and Devron Circle around 2 yesterday afternoon. Both suffered serious injuries.
And we're trying to get more details about a 4-year-old boy who reportedly hit by a car near Providence Point. That's a public housing area once known as Taft Homes. The child was injured in the 400 block of North Adams and taken to a local hospital.
The Heart of Illinois Fair opened yesterday on the grounds of Exposition Gardens. The 5-day event is minus the carnival and some livestock showings, but there's plenty of entertainment for Central Illinois families each day and night from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Turning to national news, the Labor Department has announced inflation increased slightly last month to 2.7%. It was an increase of 0.03%. Described by national media as an acceleration due to, in part, to rising grocery prices. Gas prices, however, were decreasing. President Trump again urged Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell to reduce interest rates, which remain among the highest in the Western world.
FBI agents have captured the guy who fired at ICE agents during an attack at the ICE detention center in Alvarado, Texas on July 4th. 32-year-old Benjamin Song has been charged with attempted murder. Song was with 11 others in an organized attack at the facility. He managed to escape, but was apprehended later and is now behind bars.
Attacks against ICE agents have increased by over 800% since many Democrat officials started voicing condemnation of arrests of illegal immigrant criminals. House Democrats have introduced a bill demanding the identity of ICE agents. The bill requires the removal of masks, open name tags, and other information, making it easier to learn who they are, putting their agents and their families at risk.
California Senator Adam Schiff could be in trouble. A federal housing agency has sent a criminal referral to the Justice Department regarding Schiff's ownership of a house in Maryland where he claimed he lived when applying for a home loan. Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division said Schiff engaged in possible mortgage fraud to gain a lower interest rate. Schiff says President Trump is trying to get even for his ongoing attacks against him. Schiff can't be living in Maryland when he represents California.
And let's look at some of the stories we're following. And our sports guy has arrived on the scene with hot news from the world of sports. This is a tough time to report sports because nothing's happening in the major leagues. So the home run derby. Did you watch that by any chance?
I watched that.
You did?
Yeah.
Who were you rooting for?
No, actually, it was for Cal Raleigh. There,
You did?
he ended up winning. But he moved on in the rounds by 1 inch.
Yeah, that's what
they went.
Yeah.
For that,
I talked about that yesterday. 1 inch. I said you should give it to both of them.
Yeah,
It was $1 million, so
well, it was like a kind of like instead of like doing like maybe a swing off, they just went by the distance of their home runs that they hit. So,
well, it's all right.
Yeah.
He deserved it, so he won it.
He won it. He won it with his dad and his brother. His brother was catching behind the plate.
It was it. I did not know.
Yeah,
That's
so this is
interesting.
a cool thing.
it was quite
You
a
know
family affair.
You know who the critical part of the home run derby? What do you think is the critical part?
Patronage.
The what?
People watching.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. What
Like
do you
for
think,
the
sports guy?
for the batter or
Well, I'm just saying whatever you want to answer.
I would say if you're the batter, keeping yourself fresh.
Okay, that's a good answer. What do you think, Terry?
Have no idea.
Okay.
Or the
It's the guys throwing the
throwing
ball.
the ball,
Yeah.
throwing strikes.
You throw that's where you can hit over the fence. You know, my grandson participated in a home run derby when he was playing professionally out west, and we were able to watch it on YouTube or whatever the case might be. And the guy that's throwing the pitches, he's got all the pressure in the world.
Mhm.
I think there was one where the father was throwing, not in this one, but
Yeah.
one not too long
know
ago.
which one,
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking
And you
about.
don't want to lob them across the plate because the faster it's going, the more chance you got of getting a out of the park home run.
Yeah,
I
they
think that
gotta-
makes sense.
They got to
Yeah.
be pretty precise. too. So
Yeah, right across the plate.
All right, what else do you have there?
All right,
You're off to a
so
rousing start.
all right, so the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The American League came back from 6-0, tying the game at 6-6 in the ninth inning on an infield hit from Stephen Kwan. Instead of extra innings, fans got something new. They went into this swing off where everyone got 3 swings to hit homers.
They did that, did they really?
Mhm. They
That
did.
was last night?
That was last night that they
Was
did
that
that.
before the game, during the game, after the game?
It was after 9 innings.
So they kept. And where was it held, and what kind of a turnout was there?
So there were 6 guys that went, but actually only 5 went because I don't know. The American League was up 3-1, and then
Who won?
Schwarber came up and he
Former Cub.
and he hit 3. He got all 3 on his swings to
Home runs?
give him the lead. Give the National League the
Is
lead.
that right?
Yep, and then that put the pressure on the American League, and the guy next, he didn't hit one. It was a younger kid, and
So the National League won.
yeah, National League ended up
What's
winning because of
what-
Schwarber. So
What,
they gave
because
him
of home,
the
what's the record? National League has won more games, have they, than the American League in the All-Star games?
the
No.
American
I
League
think it's the American
I
League.
think it is.
I hate to say
Yeah.
it, but I think it's the American League.
because the last time we won was
Who's we?
National
National
League.
League.
If
Oh,
you're
yeah,
a
okay,
Cub or
yeah,
Cardinal
yeah.
or whatever, National League. Last time they won was 23,
Yeah.
2023.
What's this we stuff? What position do you play?
I don't know, but 2023 it was the last time National League won, and then before that they had a 9 game losing streak.
The National League did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I always
So-
rooted for the American League because that's where my brother, he played with the Yankees. So I'm going to be rooting for the American League. But I'm a Cub fan, and you're a Cardinal fan.
Right.
So you, what kind of a fan are you anyway?
Cardinal.
Okay. Sorry I brought that up. But at any rate, the National League has been on the losing end.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly. Terry is our,
Look it up.
Oh, she Googled it.
she's our accountant.
The American League has won 48 wins. National League has 44 wins.
Yep.
Ooh, it's a lot closer than I thought it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
In other news,
Yeah, but anyway, so that got Schwarber the MVP of the
well,
game
that makes sense.
because of that. In NHL news, the Blackhawks signed their number 3 overall pick in this year's draft to a 3-year entry-level contract. That would be Anton Frondel. So he'll get his shot at making this year's team. And if not, it's okay. He's got time to develop. He's young, so. And then the Blackhawks will open the season against the reigning champs, Florida Panthers.
When does the season start? That doesn't seem odd. Here it is. We're going to have 93 degrees, and we're talking hockey.
I
We're not playing hockey yet, are we?
No, not yet.
What kind of hockey puck are you?
Hey, it's news though. It's
Yes, you're right. It's news. If it's news to you, it's news to us.
That's right. Sports news.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's not for a long time right now. I mean,
But it's still in the news.
yeah,
All right.
A couple of months, right?
for sure. NFL news: the Chiefs lock up guard Trey Smith, extending him to a 4-year, $92 million deal to make him the highest paid guard in NFL history. And also 32 of the NFL's 32 second-round picks still have not signed their contracts, which our agents angle for the same guarantees as the first 2 picks of that round got in May. And the Bears have the league high of 3 second-rounders not signed, so all 3 of ours still haven't signed yet.
Whoopee.
Mhm.
I know, but it's training camps coming up, so
We're waiting with bated breath.
yeah. I mean, those guys need deals.
Yours may be baited, but mine, that's another story.
And then in the WNBA, Caitlin
can't
Clark
wait.
re-aggravated her left groin in a fever win against the Sun,
Caitlin, huh?
85-6. She got hurt again, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
That hurts.
and that's our sports report.
You know, I'm shocked that you talked about the Chiefs and you did not mention anything about Taylor Swift or Kelsey.
Yeah, we
And
can.
I'm just shocked. What kind of a report is that? If you don't mention Taylor Swift and her boyfriend, are they still hot in the
Yeah.
news?
Stuff.
You know what I don't understand is his brother seems to be getting a lot of
Jason.
Airtime.
airtime publicity for that matter.
Well, he drinks a lot.
He's retired now, and you know,
Hey, Terrence, I got a question for you.
he's doing a podcast. He does that.
You said kids. What's your definition of a kid?
Younger than me.
Well, we continue, boys and girls, with Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU, and you can catch us also on YouTube. I'm not sure who you're rooting for, Gary. Oh, on YouTube, yeah. Once again, a reminder how you can tune in and catch us all in our wonderful garb that we're wearing.
With RogerandFriends.com. And they will,
Roger, Breakfast with Roger
and Friends.
Is that all?
It's all one word, no spaces.
No spacing in between.
Lowercase.
Yeah, lowercase. Doesn't really matter. And then the logo will come up, and there'll be a little link on it that says "Watch Live." Click on that, and you'll be watching.
I'm sure you are. And unfortunately, because of licensing regulations, while we're playing music, YouTube, through their wonderful technology, cuts it out. Thanks to YouTube. Have you heard that on WAZU? What was that, Gary?
You can still hear us talking.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, how's everything in Princeville? Do they have? Do the people in Princeville have some kind of a summer festival? You know, Tremont has the Turkey Festival, and Elmwood has the cherry strawberry, and Washington has a cherry festival, or and
Good Neighbor Days.
oh well, that's
They have in
wonderful.
Princeville.
They didn't raise cherries anyway, did
Fair.
they?
It's a little fair though.
You have a fair, or when is it?
It's already gone.
Thanks for telling us. We would love to come out and hang out at your place and
Yeah,
go into that little coffee shop. Is it still open? That's a
I-
neat little coffee shop. We stopped there one day and had a cup of Java.
So you
that'd
have
have been a good idea.
you have any entertainment, any singers or
Yeah, there's a
Hog-
talent show usually.
Did you have a carnival?
Yep.
hog
Now,
roast?
now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, try to figure out how you can have a carnival in Princeville, population of what, 1,100?
Something like that.
Something
yeah,
like
for
that,
sure.
1,200, 1,300, whatever. And the Heart of Illinois Fair is unable to capture a carnival. I just don't understand that. Even if you got the kiddie train from the Glen Oak Park, you remember years ago when they had the kiddie train? You don't know.
Yeah, it
You
was- it
people
was
are
a
too
train
young.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
We would take the boys up there, and interesting one would love to get on, the other one didn't.
Oh, yeah.
But and what was funny about the guy who drove it would get into in the engine of it, and it looked odd. Here was this little tiny train, and this big guy, like his big sissy. Oh, look at the sissy driving but he had to run the controls, and it was neat. You don't remember you don't even remember it, but
I
it
barely
was over
remember
by
it.
where
Kind of around the pavilion, wasn't it?
north of the pavilion, or west, or what. I don't know what direction it was, but it was a big attraction, a big draw for the kids.
Yeah,
Was
is
that,
that,
But what all did you have? What rides did you have?
there's
Was there a Ferris wheel?
yeah.
So
there's
you
always
got to have a
Ferris-
Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
There's
but
always
this-
a Ferris
It was
wheel.
a single Ferris wheel, wasn't it? Wasn't the double? Or was it a double one?
Yeah, you can fit two people on there.
No, I mean,
For sure.
That was funny. You didn't know it, but that was very funny. Yeah, there were 2 people on it.
Let's see.
This is really tiring. She means, was there a double
Yeah.
Ferris
Two
wheel?
Ferris wheels.
No.
No,
No.
I didn't think so. Just a single one.
probably couldn't.
But even though it was a single one, it was one more than they had at the heart
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Illinois Fair.
That's true.
I don't understand how somebody can't sponsor the difference between what it costs to bring it and what they charge. Does that make sense?
So
Yeah.
Roger,
In other words, to make up the difference.
people that took care of his fair in Princeville,
Hmm.
maybe they should take over the fair in Peoria
Maybe. You know what?
because they got a carnival.
Well, yeah.
Pretty much.
Uh,
I
I'll
mean,
let-
there's always food there. There's the
Yeah.
Tilt-A-Whirl. There's
did they have elephant ears?
yeah, I think so.
Well, there you have it. You have a fair.
I think
You have elephant ears.
And the shake.
And corn dogs, yeah.
the shake
yeah. There's always those.
Trying to figure this out, boys and girls. I just don't understand why the fair is not having things
yeah.
like you have at Little
Yeah.
Dinky. And I'm
I know.
not being unkind or
No, you're right.
uncomplimentary.
You're right.
That you had in Princeville.
I didn't go to it though, but
You know something is going on. Like I was on I-55 yesterday, and as I was headed south, going north was a guy pulling, I think, a hot dog stand. You know, they all have colorful paintings on
Yeah,
the sign and so.
on their
So I said,
wagons. Mhm.
I wonder if I should follow him to see if he was going to the Heart of Illinois
Flag
Fair
him
He
or
might have been.
somewhere else.
flag them down.
might have
Like,
been.
no.
Oh, and then it was like it was slightly foggy coming from.
Okay, thanks. Bring this up to date. So you see, that's the problem we have. We think in our little world that is everybody's little world, but it isn't. So we had
Very
nothing in Morton, and you live a short distance, Terry, and a little bit further down the road is Gary. But you come all the way from Princeville, so you had the opportunity to drive in a fog.
But
And I was in a fog too until I woke up.
Yeah, we are all quite aware of that
Yeah.
as well.
Uh,
Well, at any rate, we have our quiz coming up. I hope you stick around for that a little later on this morning. Our special guest, it is Wednesday morning, will be defense attorney Kevin Sullivan. We have no news from NPR this morning. WCBU is
sleep at the
quiet,
wheel.
and it may be for a variety of reasons, but we move along with our news as we do every morning. Our up-to-date news. Well, I like that. And our news brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor. Bob is with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. For investment needs, check out Bob Manning. You can reach Bob at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, SIPC. And now with the news, here's Terry.
41-year-old Aaron Rossi, former head of Veritas Laboratories, was sentenced to 3 years and a month after he pleaded guilty to defrauding insurance companies as well as the state of Illinois. Rossi's company did COVID testing, but not to the extent of how much he billed companies, which amounted to an estimated $300 million. He's currently serving a 5-year sentence for mail and tax fraud. The Morton man has been in jail for 2 years. A Peoria County grand jury has indicted 3 persons for the death of 20-year-old Terrence Scott, 20-year-old Christopher Adams, 18-year-old Cameron Bell, and 17-year-old Lamar Cagle have been charged with first-degree murder. They allegedly shot Scott and another person in the 300 block of MacArthur Highway last month. Police found Scott dead in a vehicle that crashed following the shooting. East Peoria police say 2 young girls, ages 10 and 11, were hit by a car at the intersection of Sunrise and Deveron Circle around 2 yesterday afternoon. Both suffered serious injuries. And we're trying to get more details about a 4-year-old boy who reportedly was hit by a car near Providence Point, public housing area once known as Taft Homes. The child was injured in the 400 block of North Adams and taken to a local hospital. The Heart of Illinois Fair opened yesterday on the grounds of Expo Gardens. The 5-day event is minus the carnival and some livestock showings, but there's plenty of entertainment for Central Illinois families each day and night from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Turning to national news, the Labor Department has announced inflation increased slightly last month to 2.7%, far from the 9.4% at one time under President Biden. The 0.03% increase was described by national media as an acceleration due in part to rising grocery prices, while gas prices were decreasing. President Trump was in Pennsylvania yesterday, where he announced $92 billion in investments from some 20 major energy and technology companies. The focus for some of the investments will be in artificial intelligence. Trump said we need to stay ahead of the Chinese. FBI agents have captured a man who fired at ICE agents during an attack at the ICE detention center in Alvarado, Texas, July 4th. 32-year-old Benjamin Song has been charged with attempted murder. Song was with 11 others in an organized attack at the facility. Speaking of attacks against ICE agents have increased by 800% since many Democrat officials started voicing condemnation of arrest of illegal immigrant criminals. House Democrats have introduced a bill demanding the identity of ICE agents. The bill requires the removal of masks, open name tags, and other information. And those are the headlines, Roger.
Thank you, Kylie. And now, how about a check of the weather brought to you by, guess who? Kathy Reynolds of Brilliant Real Estate. Thinking about selling your home, thinking about buying a new home. Talk to Kathy Reynolds. She's available 24/7 to help you. And you can reach Kathy at 309-696-2162. Now, a check of the weather. Mostly sunny and hot today, a high of 93, with a heat index reaching 103. It's going to be a hot one today. There's a good chance for showers and thunder boomers today, so be aware of that. More than a good chance. And we'll have more of the same showers and thunderstorms tonight with a low 70. Tomorrow, cloudy and not as hot, 78. Are you ready for that? 78 degrees tomorrow. Love it. 30% chance for rain. And Friday, cloudy, high of 82. Saturday, cloudy, showers and thunderstorms, and a high of 88. Right now, our temperature is standing at, might be sitting down too, 74 degrees. And there you have the weather and a little bit of everything. Hey, it's time for our quiz. Well, we wait for Gary to come back from his office down the hallway. I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to wonderful neighbors we have in Morton, the Benders family, Angie and Josh and their great family of Isaac, Luke, and Bryn. And we called on Angie, and she drafted Isaac to help us do some moving around of some heavy things, and we won't go into what it was, but it's nice to have nice neighbors. And do you do a lot of neighboring where you live at all, Terry?
No.
No. All right. Moving along.
It's really, you pull into your garage and put the door down, and so you're not really out and
Now,
about.
we're talking about your condo, right?
Yeah, at the
Okay.
condo.
Now, that does make it kind of hard to neighbor. It's not like you go out in the backyard and water your flowers and maybe cook on the patio and wave to the other neighbors who don't like you or you don't like. I understand. How many years have you lived where you live now?
14 years.
14 years.
Mhm.
If I were to, I don't want to get too personal, but do you know the first name of how many people?
Oh, all of them. I'm
Oh, really? You
the
do?
I'm the
Okay.
treasurer, so
Oh, yeah. So you know who the deadbeats are and who the ones
yes.
are.
So I get the checks and I deposit
Yeah.
them and track it. So yes,
Do you have to send memos to them if they're late?
just
Yeah, okay.
just a couple.
Well, there's always a couple. And you live in a house with a big yard. I'm in Princeton, do you not,
Yep.
Tyrus? And how long have you lived there? Let's see, you're 25, are you? Or did you turn 26?
So, yeah, yep, just turned 26.
Yeah, when was your
and,
birthday? Because I don't think you told us so we could celebrate. You know, we have a huge treasury of money to buy birthday gifts.
June 9th.
June 9th, and he didn't tell us, did he, Terry? No. Well, happy birthday. So
Thank
you
you.
turned 26.
Mhm.
What'd you do for your birthday? What was the highlight? Are you a drinker?
No.
No, okay.
No.
I didn't think so.
We just had just family. I just had dinner. We did like steak and
Okay, well that sounds good. Well, we apologize. We didn't know. So
I didn't say
as
anything
we-
either, but yeah.
I know you're nice enough.
I-
Well, that's why he didn't tell us. Because he ate all the cake. All right, we were waiting for you to come. You what?
Could have brought some. We had.
Well, yeah. You're not only probably, you should have. What's this probably stuff? Well, anyway, happy birthday. 26 years young.
26, huh? So anybody that's 25 or younger is a kid, right?
Mhm.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, especially the.
I don't want to put pressure on you, but I was 26 when I got married. Are you close to getting married?
No.
Okay. How old were you, Gary?
No, when I got married,
Yeah. No, when.
first time, second time, or third time.
Okay, I guess that. Anyway, let's start with our morning questions. How many states can be seen? They say eyeballed on a clear day from on top of Tennessee's Lookout Mountain.
5.
Terry,
I think it's 6.
6.
How many states?
Yes, how many states? Now you have one at 5 and one at 7.
No, 6.
She's at 6.
That's 6. Okay.
The answer must be 7.
Yes, the answer is 7. Nice going. The teacher, Roger. Yes. We're off to a losing start. Good. You did get that one with a little help from somebody. Our next question: what Nickelodeon series attracted 70% of all 2 to 14-year-olds watching TV for its 10th anniversary special in the year 2001? That's a long question.
You know what? It's.
Nickelodeon, yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's probably SpongeBob. No.
No.
No, I wouldn't think
It's
of
probably the
it.
show that had the goop or the slime or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Kids' Choice.
So you know the answer, do you?
No.
Oh,
She's just making an assumption.
Might
okay.
be the Kids' Choice
You get
Awards where they slime everybody there.
Right. What show was that?
That was just a show where all the stars of
Well, what was the name of it?
Kids' Choice Awards.
Okay. Well, that's not correct. It's one word. I
Uh,
know you know it. I can tell on
so
the
it's not
expression.
SpongeBob.
Starts with the letter R.
Rock.
What?
Rock?
No.
Rugrats.
That is correct.
Oh, the Rugrats. Oh my gosh.
Well, eating a donut. She got it correct.
That's my brain food.
Boy, if that's the case, somebody, they're shouting. We're all here.
I just get so excited when you say donuts.
Okay. What accordion player, or in this case, king, was perched on top of the Polka Hall of Fame float in Bill Clinton's 1997 inaugural parade?
Polka King, huh?
Yes.
Well, it wasn't Lawrence Welk because he was dead.
Myron Florek?
Well, that's a good guess, but incorrect. Any answer is a good guess.
A good guess, but not the correct. Polka King.
Yes.
Oh, Weird Al Yankovic.
What?
Weird Al Yankovic.
Well, you're close. Frank Yankovic.
Frankie
Frankie Yankovic.
Yankovic.
All right.
Is that the
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
the same one he's thinking of?
No.
No,
No, it's
you're incorrect. I'm sorry.
I was close.
You're close.
Close.
What? Who did Arthur Toni Morrison call our first black president?
Barack Obama.
Very good. Incorrect.
Actually, it was Bill Clinton. So
Bill
she
Clinton.
called it.
Yeah, very good. You get that one. Good. Move that.
I was-
bell over. That was a good answer. How many of every 10 U.S. adults with herpes simplex virus type 2 don't know they have it, according to the CDC?
You talking about percentage or
Yeah, sounds like a percentage. I'm gonna say 45%.
Let me. It's not percentage. How many of every 10 U.S. adults with herpes simplex virus type 2 don't know they have it?
4.
6?
4, 6.
It's gonna be 7 again.
8. Who do we appreciate?
The percentage?
No, the
How
numbers.
many out of 10?
How many out of
How many out of 10?
people?
out of 10 people? How many don't know they have it?
Probably. I'm gonna go 4.
The answer is 9.
9 out of 10?
Wow.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's because you get those sores on your lips,
The cold sore.
All right.
full sores and whatever. Yeah.
This is an interesting question. It's a sports
There's
question.
different forms, so
What 17-year-old became the youngest golfer ever to earn a PGA Tour card in the year 2001?
2000.
And I see the answer, and I don't remember him. And you, and
No, I
see
never
the-
am.
No, I don't.
Then I'm guessing it's,
17 years old.
it's not Tiger Woods.
That's
No,
what I was gonna
no,
say.
that's what I said. Before I looked at the answer, I said, well, that must be Tiger Woods.
no,
But it was
it's
not.
not.
Okay.
He was 17, and his the initials for both the first and last name, T.
T for both?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Titus?
No.
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 I'm trying to think of
Was it like Trevor?
Yeah.
one of Royce Elliott's sons.
Ty.
Ty is the first name.
Oh,
Good.
Ty, come on now. You know this. You're a sports guy.
boy.
You won't get it. Ty Tryon.
Never
Is
heard of
it?
him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say
All right. What Dallas star finally played Mrs. Robinson on stage in 2001, 34 years after supplying her leg in ads for the Graduate movie?
Oh, yeah, she's
Linda Gray.
Linda Gray is correct. What Kentucky City's Museum of History and Science boasts the Apollo 13 command module?
Frankfurt.
Incorrect.
what was it? Say it again. Question again.
What Kentucky City,
Kentucky.
its Museum of History and Science, has the Apollo 13 command module?
Louisville.
Louisville is correct.
Oh, yeah.
I said
Oh,
it
you
correct.
guys are really
Louisville.
very good. All right, here is question. Our next question: Who warned we'd be checking into Heartbreak Hotel if we embrace the Elvis economics of Bill Clinton?
Oh.
Ross Perot.
No.
This is a political person, right?
Yes, and a Republican.
Yeah.
Okay. Because let's see. Would it be the guy that was the head of the house and everybody
No.
hated him?
No,
No. Okay.
it's the
Heartbreak.
president.
George Bush.
George Bush is correct.
Oh boy. George Bush.
What Larry McMurtry novel?
Oh,
You probably
Cowboy.
you're going to get this one. What Larry McMurtry novel gave new meaning to the word poke?
Hulk.
Yes.
Brokeback Mountain.
No.
No, he's probably thinking of the
Lonesome Dove.
Lonesome
Lonesome
Dove.
Dove.
Yes.
Very good. Both
Yeah,
of you got
because
that.
that
right.
one guy was out. They took that one lady with him for a poke once in a while.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were the first creatures to be successfully vaccinated against the West Nile virus?
West Nile virus.
What were the first creatures to be successfully vaccinated against the West Nile virus?
Pigs.
Incorrect.
Chimpanzees.
Incorrect.
Your turn, Tyrus.
Dogs, cats, humans.
Pick one.
It's carried by birds a lot.
Okay, I'm going to give you a choice.
All right.
Okay.
Crows, deer, or horses?
Horses.
Horses is correct. Nice going, Tyler.
No horsing around, huh?
That's right.
All right, here's another sports question. What former Cowboys defensive end became the first Super Bowl most valuable player to die in 2001? That's kind of a morbid
Oh
question.
my gosh.
Dallas Cowboy.
Dallas Cowboy. Defensive end.
Jimmy Stewart, the first name, was famous for mentioning this name, I think. The first name.
Jimmy.
It started with the letter H.
H.
Harvey.
Harvey, very good.
Oh, the rabbit.
Yes, Harvey is the first name. What's the last name? And the last name is the name of a certain bird, as a matter of fact, with the letter M.
Monarch.
That's a butterfly.
That's a butterfly. This is. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to think of
I know which way I came
somebody
in.
who has a famous last name that starts
With an M.
with an M or first name.
Oh,
What is a blue
Oh my gosh.
bird?
A marlin? No, that's
You're close.
purple martin.
That's it.
Martin.
Harvey
Martin
Martin.
is-
Harvey Martin. Yes, yeah.
Never heard.
See, even when you're not sure,
Oh,
you're right.
Sorry, we don't remember.
What Plains state claims to be the birthplace of Cliff Notes and the Reuben sandwich?
Reuben. That'd be
What state?
what state?
Hmm.
Oh, who?
Pennsylvania.
Incorrect.
Oklahoma.
Incorrect.
It's an eastern state, though, right?
No,
No.
you said Plains State, didn't you?
Yes. What Plains
I thought you
state?
said what plain state?
What Plains state?
Plains
Well,
state.
Illinois is plain, but it's not the
Plains.
Plains state.
We have a few hills in Illinois.
North Dakota.
Incorrect.
Reuben.
The home
Reuben.
birthplace of the Reuben sandwich.
Kansas.
Incorrect.
Kentucky.
Gary, do you want to just throw out a
Plains
state in the plains? That'd be helpful,
Pennsylvania.
even if it's wrong.
Oklahoma.
I said
Said that.
Yeah, I can tell you listen to the show, don't you?
Well,
We already said that one.
I can't think of anything.
Well,
Texas?
let me say what clue that I can help you. It's you're going to go through it if you go west.
that's helpful.
I go west from where?
Well, if
From
you take
Peoria?
I-80, I think I-80 goes through Iowa, and let's see what is next.
Iowa, Idaho,
Iowa, Indianapolis,
Iowa.
Missouri.
Missouri. No, not Missouri. Arkansas.
If you go through Iowa, what's the next state you're going to go through?
Over. Oh, through
I don't know.
next.
Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Which actor, it's easy for me, I'm giving the question. What actor said the main difference between his TV studio and the White House is that the studio had better air conditioning? Who was the actor who said
Sheen.
no? Not Martin.
He played the president, and
I don't know whether he did, but it's the initials for his name R.L.
RL.
Mm-hmm.
R.L., an
Mhm.
actor.
Raymond.
When a person holds up a bank, what's another word?
Robbed.
Okay, you got Rob right.
Rob Reiner.
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe is correct.
Oh, Rob Lowe.
Good job. What Point Clear, Alabama novelist named his dog Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump.
Yes.
He's the one that wrote the.
This is a bad question. I don't think you would get him. Initials WG. And the first name is the first name of a World War II leader in Great Britain.
Winston.
Yes. That's his first name. And when people get married, what do they call?
Groom.
Yes. Have you ever heard of Winston Groom?
Nope.
No, that's why I thought that would be a tough one.
Nope.
What medium did artist Sean Berry use to sculpt a 50-pound replica of a palm for the Minnesota State Fair? A pound, VILX.
Medium. You mean somebody that's a foreseer? Or?
A product.
Like we have the butter cow at the state fair.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah.
Cheese.
incorrect. You actually gave the answer without knowing it.
Butter.
Butter.
Copycat.
Yeah.
Cat.
What Western state led the U.S. in births per capita according to the 2000 census figures?
California.
Incorrect.
Western state.
Yes.
Nevada.
Incorrect.
Utah.
Utah is correct.
Ah, yep. Because
Who horrified Alice Walker during filming of The Color Purple by revealing that Gone with the Wind was his favorite film? Well-known Hollywood producer.
Gladys Walker.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg is correct again. Boy. All right, let me see. What famous knife wielder took back her maiden name Gallo, Italian for rooster, after her 1995 divorce?
Lorraine Bobbitt.
Yes, boy, you're right. What was her first name? Remember?
Lorraine or Lorraine.
Lorena. Boy, how did you get that one? I will never know. What was the
Woman.
What was the original message on Johnny Depp's heartfelt tattoo that now reads "Wino forever"?
Winona.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What? How would you know that?
Because she pretty much blanked the bed for the marriage.
What NBC sports announcer admitted keeping a 1958 Mickey Mantle baseball card? 1958 baseball card, by the way, that my brother has.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Mickey Mantle baseball card in his wallet. Who was the sports announcer that meant that?
Brian Gumbel.
Oh, that's a good guess. He's still around, still announcing, as a matter of fact.
Not. I want to say Root Arridge, but that's not. Still around, huh? Baseball.
His initials BC.
Brett BC?
Yes.
Oh.
You would say Greg Gumbel.
Yeah.
Brian.
No. Very popular. What is one of the most popular? Bob Costas. Very good.
Yeah.
Tyrus, ladies
Very
and gentlemen.
good.
Tyrus.
He's the one with the wig, right?
Yeah. I don't know. What company recycled 100 million one-time use cameras in 7 years upon introduction of the Fun Saver model?
Fuji.
What?
Fuji?
No.
Kodak.
Kodak is correct.
I try to remember. I can see the green and white ones on the table, but
Well, you guys did wonderful. Nice. Congratulations. Well done. Mostly sunny and hot today. 93 with a heat index reaching 103. And there's a good chance we're going to have some heavy showers and thunderstorms today. Right now, we'll calm things down with our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles, and of course, cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. As the weather turns warmer and outdoor activities increase, remember your pooch's sensitivities, especially his foot pads. Hot pavement can work like a blast furnace. Walk your dog in the morning or late evening when the ground is not as hot. Carry a small dog over the hot pavement to a grassy area. Walking over sharp, coarse gravel or on a running track can also damage a dog's foot pads. Foot pad injuries in dogs can range from abrasions, blisters, burns, ulcers, tears, punctures, and lacerations. The common clinical signs are limping, licking at the feet, or bleeding. You might also see cracking. This ailment is serious and needs to be attended to quickly. Anything other than a superficial abrasion should be treated by your veterinarian, as foot pads do not heal like regular skin. Home care for mild abrasions includes gently rinsing the affected foot under cool water, then an application of an antibacterial ointment. I prefer Veteriacin. It's a reliable wound solution that does not interfere with the wound healing process, but products such as Neosporin can also be used. Finally, placing nonstick Telfa pad over the foot pad and lightly wrap with vet wrap or an ACE bandage. The bandage should be kept clean and dry and changed daily until the pads have healed. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Well, that takes care of hour number one of Breakfast with Roger and Friends on this beautiful Wednesday morning, the 16th of July. Pleasant good morning, everybody, on WAZU FM 90.7 in wonderful Peoria, Illinois, and on YouTube as well. Good to see everybody. We have news, weather, sports coming up in the next hour. Defense attorney Kevin Sullivan will join us, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, stand by. More coming up in hour number two. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 16th of July, and we begin this segment with a check of the weather brought to you by Matt Wall. He's a CPA with Gordon Stockman & Wall for more than 40 years. Matt has been handling tax returns and other financial matters for individuals and businesses, and you can reach Matt today at 309-692-4030. As we mentioned earlier this morning, quite a cornucopia of weather today, sunny and hot. 93 will be the high, and the heat index could reach 103 degrees. And there's a very, very good chance for showers, heavy showers, and thunderstorms today. We'll keep you abreast of any changes. In the meantime, more showers and thunderstorms tonight with a low of 70. Tomorrow will be cloudy, not as hot. 78 degrees tomorrow. Boy, we'll take that and run with it any time of the day for 30% chance for rain tomorrow. Looking ahead to the weekend, Friday cloudy, high of 82, and Saturday cloudy, showers and thunder boomers, and a high of 88. And we are still at 74 degrees. Now with our lead story, here's Terry.
41-year-old Aaron Rossi, former head of Reditus Laboratories, was sentenced to 3 years and a month after he was found guilty of defrauding insurance companies as well as the state of Illinois. Rossi's company did COVID testing, but not to the extent of how much he billed the companies, which amounted to an estimated $300 million. He's currently serving a 5-year sentence for mail and tax fraud. The Martin man has been in jail for 2 years.
A Peoria County grand jury has indicted 3 persons for the death of 20-year-old Teron Scott, 20-year-old Christopher Adams, and we're naming them, 18-year-old Cameron Bell, and 17-year-old Lamar Cagle. All 3 have been charged with first-degree murder. They allegedly shot Scott and another person in the 300 block of MacArthur Highway last month. Police found Scott dead, actually in the back seat of a vehicle that crashed following the shooting. And that second person, by the way, has since recovered from injuries he sustained in that tragic incident.
East Peoria police say 2 young girls, ages 10 and 11, were hit by a car at the intersection of Sunrise and Devron Circle around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Both suffered serious injuries.
And we're trying to get more details about a 4-year-old boy. Reportedly, he was hit by a car near Providence Point. Now, that's an area once known as Taft Homes. The child was injured in the 400 block of North Adams, taken to a local hospital.
The Heart of Illinois Fair opened yesterday on the grounds of Expo Gardens. The 5-day event is minus a carnival and some livestock showings, but there's plenty of entertainment for Central Illinois families each day and night from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Well, turning to national news, that Labor Department announcement reveals that inflation has increased slightly last month to 2.7%. The actual increase was 0.03%. The increase and acceleration in part due to rising grocery prices, while gas prices were decreasing as much as 10 cents a gallon here in this area. President Trump again urged Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell to reduce interest rates, which, by the way, remain among the highest in the Western world.
FBI agents have captured the guy who fired at ICE agents during an attack at the ICE detention center in Alvarado, Texas on July 4th. 32-year-old Benjamin Song has been charged with attempted murder. Song was with 11 others in an organized attack at the facility. He managed to escape, but was apprehended later and is now behind bars.
Attacks against ICE agents have increased by more than 800% since many Democrat officials started voicing condemnation of arrests of illegal immigrant criminals. House Democrats have actually introduced a bill demanding the identity of ICE agents. The bill requires removal of masks, open name tags, and other information make it easier to learn who they are, thus putting pressure on agents and their families at risk.
California Senator Adam Schiff could be in trouble. A federal housing agency has sent a criminal referral to the Justice Department regarding Schiff's ownership of a house in Maryland where he claimed he lived when applying for a home loan. Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division said Schiff engaged in possible mortgage fraud to gain a lower interest rate. Schiff says President Trump is trying to get even for his ongoing attacks against him. Schiff can't be living in Maryland when he represents California.
And let's look at some of the stories we're following. No news this morning from WCBU, but we have sports. And the guy who knows sports on Wednesday morning, actually, he knows sports every day of the week for that matter, but he joins us every Wednesday morning with all the latest, and that's Tyrus Killian. Good morning, Tyrus.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Roger. Let's start in the MLB, and the winner of the Home Run Derby, Cal Raleigh, got to move on with the ball going farther than the other guys by 1 inch. It was Brent Rooker of the Athletics is what that was. And let's move on to the All-Star game. The American League came back from a 6-0 hole, tying the game in the 9th inning, 6-6 on an infield hit from Stephen Kwan of the Cleveland Guardians. Instead of extra innings, fans got something new. They went into this swing off where everyone got 3 swings to hit a home run. With the NL down 3-1 and the swing off, Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies clutched up and hit 3 homers to take the lead, putting the pressure on the AL, and that's all it took. And that performance won him the MVP of the game. In NHL news, the Blackhawks have signed their number 3 overall pick in this year's draft to a 3-year entry-level contract, Anton Frandl. He will get his shot at making the team this year. If he doesn't, it's okay. He still has time to develop. The Blackhawks open the season against the reigning champs, the Florida Panthers, on October 7th. NFL news, the Chiefs lock up guard Trey Smith, extending him to a 4-year, $92 million deal to make him the highest paid guard in NFL history. Speaking of the draft here, 30 of the NFL's 32 second-round picks still have not signed their contracts, while their agents angle for the same guarantees the first 2 picks of that round that those players got in May. The Bears have the league high of 3 second-rounders not signed, so you got to get those guys signed before training camp. And in WNBA news, Caitlin Clark re-aggravates her left groin in a fever win against the Connecticut Sun, 85-77.
What do they do for a groin injury? Just rest?
Yeah.
Heat,
Imagine
ice?
probably alternate heat and ice, and
Mhm.
probably just rest, stay off of it.
Yeah.
Don't want to strain
What
it
you don't
anymore.
want to do is pull a quad or tear a quad.
Did
Or,
you ever get a Charlie horse in the middle of the night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
So, you don't want to get out of bed, but you have to get out of bed.
Oh, you get out of bed.
Oh, absolutely. I
you
stretch it.
Roll right out and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tears coming down. Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know about the tears, but
I do.
yeah. All right. Well, that's just a little medical note. In other sports news,
that's it.
okay.
Hey, Roger,
We get through it.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
$300 million, right?
Mhm.
If you was to be guaranteed that you'd get $6 million a year for 50 years, if you went to jail for 3 years, what would you do? Would you take a 3-year jail sentence in order to have $6 million a year for 50 years?
Oh, wow.
That's what I figured out.
Well,
It's $300 million. If
Yeah.
he put that someplace where nobody knows where it's at, except it's one of those banks and whatever offshore,
yes.
and he
Mhm,
spends 3 years in jail. He gets out of jail, and he's got a
I would
Take
seriously consider that. It depends on where the jail was and what kind of a jail. I wouldn't want to go to Alligator or Alcatraz.
well, no, but I mean,
But I wouldn't mind going to the Pekin jail.
and that's where he's been. How many years has he been there? A couple of years,
Yes, yes. Good point.
and time served.
You know what? You're obviously talking about Rossi.
Yeah, Rossi.
Yeah.
I should have said that in
Yeah.
the first place.
All right. That's interesting. That's very interesting. However, he does have to pay restitution.
He
Part
does.
of his sentence, yeah, is restitution. And I forget how much it is, but that's interesting. That's a good question.
I wonder how much if the restitution say $1 million. Would you give up $1 million in 3 years in jail for?
Well, I'll play your game. What would you do? Would you do it?
Well, I don't know. That'd be awful.
You
Of
know,
course,
when you got out, it'd be on your job resume, but you wouldn't need a job. Yeah,
You'd be getting
yeah,
one.
yeah. I was in jail for 3 years, working hard, and I earned $3 million.
there's probably a lot of countries that would accept him if he paid them to live there,
Yeah, he could move to Switzerland.
or he could move to
I was thinking more like
Bra-
Fiji, Tahiti,
Brazil. There's
Argentina.
Argentina.
Barbados. Talking about Barbados.
Yeah,
I have a question for you. For not just Gary, but what's her name? Rosie O'Donnell is in Iceland,
Ireland.
Ireland. Okay.
I,
Well, at any rate, well, Ireland. That wasn't exactly what I was thinking, but
okay.
at any rate, would you be willing to move to? And you can name the country and live for the next 10 years if you had a guaranteed income.
If it was an income to where I could
Live,
live comfortably.
yeah, rather than lavishly, comfortably. And the requirement would be that you would have to live there for 10 years. Would you do, and this is an open question for all three of our distinguished panelists. But
If it was a
since
country
you
where I
brought it,
didn't like Ireland or England or someplace.
any kind, you name the country. I don't care.
No.
Um,
All right, I didn't know you were Gary, but Terry.
You said
yeah,
it was open?
yeah, but he was stuttering and stammering and so forth. So your answer is no.
Yep, flat out
Okay.
no.
And why?
First of all, in 10 years, I'd be getting close to the end, and my funeral plot is here.
Yeah.
I would like to visit, but I don't want to live someplace else.
mhm.
Okay. How
I get
about,
you on that.
how about you, Tyrus?
I get her on that, but
The answer is no.
well, if you get it, I don't know, if you pick a good one, I think you could be all right for 10
Okay.
years over
So
there.
you would. So what would be a good one?
Wherever you're happy.
That's right.
Wherever
Wherever your
your feet are, you're going to be happy.
wherever your feet are planted.
That if you got okay, Gary, you get to pick the country. So you would be happy where? So
Ireland.
you would move to
At the pub.
Now keep in mind you lived for how long in Vietnam?
18 months?
No, it was a year, 13 months.
13 months. Were you happy?
I was getting comfortable with it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then why did you stay?
Why did I leave?
Yeah.
Because I had a good job at Caterpillar,
Okay.
and
All right. Let's say you don't have a good job in Caterpillar. Would you have stayed longer? Would you have stayed maybe
I would have stayed.
4 or
But
5
if
years?
I didn't have a job like Caterpillar to go to, I would have probably stayed in the service.
No, I'm talking about Vietnam, not the service.
Oh, Vietnam?
Yes.
Where I was at in Vietnam, that wasn't too bad.
Well, would you live there for 10 years? So if you could live comfortably?
Sure, I could have. Yeah.
Okay. All
There's
right.
nice
Yeah,
places down there, but
Now, see, I lived for a year and a half in Germany, and I loved it. I was happy. I was comfortable, but I didn't know anybody. Well,
yeah, that's
I
the
did.
thing.
I did meet a couple of Fräuleins, but
Guten Tag.
Peoria was my hometown. I know Peoria. Peoria knows me, or some people. And I've had suggestions from family members. Dad, why don't you retire and go to Florida? Why would I go to Florida?
Maybe they're trying to get rid of you.
Well, that's
They wanna
that's obvious.
They want to visit you down there.
Well,
That's the key.
I never thought about that, Terry. Yeah. Buy a place so we can come down during the winter and stay with you for 4 months. Yeah. But
You know, Roger, when I maybe it's just me personally, but when I went to Vietnam, I knew practically nobody there except for
Well,
a few
yeah.
guys that I went to school with at Fort Lee, Virginia.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's
And
the
I
hang
got to
up
knowing
there. If you
people.
want to answer,
I knew people. I made friends.
Well,
Made a
no
couple
matter where you
connections.
go, you're going to make friends, but it's still not your hometown. And yet, you know,
it's still
we're
like
probably in the minority. A lot of people move to Florida, retire and move to Florida or Arizona and elsewhere for that
yeah,
matter.
the hot
I don't know how they can do it, to tell you the truth. I would love to talk to our dear friend, the nutritionist who lives in Florida.
Oh yeah,
Brooke.
Brooke.
Brooke,
Yeah.
yeah.
Say, how are you doing in Florida? I think her husband is
Well,
from
remember,
Florida.
yeah, remember. So they had family, his
Yeah.
family down there. So you,
Mhm.
like when I moved to Wisconsin, I didn't know anybody, and my husband and I weren't getting along.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
So you didn't know him either.
now I wish I didn't. So,
That's good.
so it seemed like the end of the earth to me. I mean, moving
Yeah,
up there,
you bet.
and I thought all the things went through. I'm never going to see, not never, but I won't get to see my family as much. And when we moved up there, it was still a lot of 2-lane roads. So it took us almost
Forever.
8 hours to get up there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
By the time I moved back here 8 years later, had it down to 5 hours and 15 minutes. So what a difference.
What a difference a road makes.
Each time they had the
Right.
more expanded highway in that. But
Do you think your feelings about living there had more to do with the circumstances
Yeah.
under which you were living, which were rather negative, rather than if you had a job and you had a happy marriage
it's because once I got rid of him and I had a good job, I had lots of friends. And
Put them boots on. You took a walk, right?
yes,
yeah.
I enjoyed Stevens Point.
What describe the town? What kind of population? What would you compare it to? Morton, Pekin?
In Morton, because it's a college town,
Hmm.
so the population
Like Bloomington, right?
fluctuates.
Hmm.
Like Bloomington or
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a nice, compact
Washington.
campus, unlike U of I, that spread all over the place.
Huh.
And of course, it has Century, which is employees. At the time, we had 3 buildings in town. We had so many employees,
Mhm.
and it just had a lot of culture for a small town. Had festivals and stuff, and nice downtown area.
And how many friends did you have when you left?
When I left, oh my, I'd have to say at least 40. I had a heck of a going away party.
Yeah. So do you miss those friends?
Yes.
See, there you go. Unless you're a person that doesn't want to make friends with people and get to knowing people and everything like that,
You'll make friends wherever you
any place
Yeah.
you go is going to be home.
go. Interesting.
yes.
Well, I know I have a sister who's lived for over 35 years in California. She lives in a gated community in Indio, and she lives very comfortably.
Right.
And has friends. I don't know. I'm sure she has many friends from church, and where she lives. So she's happy where she is. She's made the adjustment, and you're right. Wherever you go, if you're an outgoing person, you'll make friends, but they're still not the same, in my opinion, as your hometown. Then again, there are people who live in this area who don't neighbor at all, and probably feel very comfortable. What's the name of the area in Florida that so many people from Peoria flock to?
The villages.
The villages, yeah. And that's like a city. That is a city, as a matter of fact. Thousands upon thousands of people live in the villages, and the people, as I understand from Peoria, who've moved there, are very, very happy there.
Oh yeah, the fishing's good.
Wasn't there a place in Arkansas around the Ozarks area? Cherokee
Village?
Yeah, Cherokee Village.
Yeah.
That kind
Yeah.
of became a little community of
Right.
retirees.
They
there
had
for
one
a
in
while.
Missouri too, a Cherokee Village in Missouri.
You know, Cyrus, your parents have moved a couple of times from
Yeah, we have.
Princeville, and I'm trying to think in the Olympia School District, and now they live in Bloomington. I wonder how they feel about the changes they've made as part of their profession. How did you make your adjustment? But you've stayed in Princeville the whole time. While they were
Well,
moving, you stayed in Princeville?
yeah. So I mean, we've moved around a lot. We lived in Fairview for a while,
Fairview?
and then we lived in Canton, and then we all moved to Princeville, and then that's where I've been since. But they've
How
jumped
did you
schools.
adjust to the different schools?
Eh,
Was it easy? Did you find that people in whatever area you went to accepted you and made you a part of integrating into their circle of friends, or did it take a while to achieve that?
yeah, no, they did. Princeville did make it easy a little bit. Everybody was pretty nice when I moved there. But you just kind of get the like
You make friends, right?
you do make friends, but there's that first like anxiety thing
You bet.
going
Yeah.
into the new
Yeah.
I've
Mhm.
never had
new
that.
place.
I've never had that anxiety.
Well, it's just
If I don't know somebody, I just walk up to them and say, "Hey, my name's Gary Hall. What's yours?"
yeah.
Or where do you work or something. I just start a conversation.
Oh, when we moved the summer between 6th and 7th grade. And the thing was, when I left 6th grade, going that summer, I had no idea we'd be moving. So I didn't get to say like goodbye to all my friends and that because it was so
Yeah.
unexpected.
Mhm.
But I was sick to my stomach every morning for about the first 3 months
That's
because
anxiety.
I was extremely shy and introverted. And so going into a new environment, oh yeah,
Was
I
a
had,
challenge, yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I moved in the middle of like 8th grade,
Oh, that's even worse than
kind of like, yeah,
in the middle of a school year.
it's the middle of the school here. It was like middle of 8th grade.
Mm.
I moved into Princeville. So,
I maintain that today we do not neighbor like we did 40, 50 years
oh,
ago.
you're right about that for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
40, 50 years ago, we sometimes exchange uh, different meals or dishes or whatever the case may be. And maybe late at night you would sit, or in the evenings, sit on your porch and say hi to somebody across the street who was sitting on their porch. And for one thing, we don't have porches like we used
Well,
to
I would say,
have.
well, there's the key thing. First of all, you had porches and you didn't have air conditioning. So you did
Good
sit
point. Yeah,
outside going for
we
cool
didn't
to
have
center.
air
So
conditioning.
you
You're
were
right.
kind of
Yeah.
forced to see each other and mingle and that.
And there's Facebook. That kind of started it with why should you go to somebody's house or go to the front porch
Oh,
if you can
yep,
talk to them
yep.
on Facebook?
Yeah, that may be you. I don't talk to anybody on Facebook.
Well,
but
I mean that's the way.
I'm just not a Facebook person.
He's talking about all
People
the
say,
online
"Oh,
shit.
these are my emails," or "Yeah, this is my text."
Social.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's talking about social stuff.
Social
I
stuff,
get
yeah.
you. I get you on that.
Kids. Now, when we moved out to the new house, there were a lot of kids in the neighborhood. So we'd be outside playing. And so then the parents, of course, would kind of get to know each other because they'd be out calling the kids in or stuff like that. Well, now it's an aged neighborhood, so there's not kids out in the street playing and that.
good point.
So again, there's another fact that you're not mingling with the neighbors because you don't have the kids to be the common
Yeah, that's true.
denominator.
Well, now you got to get like a nice neighbor. You know
Well,
what I mean, or something like that, because otherwise,
Well, it helps to know your neighbor just to keep an eye on the house
yeah.
sometimes, or bring in your mail if you're going to be gone. Check up on the elderly people.
well, my
Yeah.
my mom and dad would have probably got put away for child abuse because at 3, 4 years old, they living in the housings. Of course, most of the people in the housings worked at Caterpillar. That's what the housings were built for.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, that's what they were built for.
Mm-hmm.
And WAPCO and whatever, but Keystone. But I'd go to somebody's house, be playing with them and stuff, and I'd fall asleep on the couch.
At somebody
And
else's
my
house.
my mom would, oh, he's not home. Is Gary over there? Oh yeah. Or is if
Right, yeah.
Tyrus is over
Yeah.
at my house and
Yeah.
we were playing,
Good
and his
point.
parents would call. Oh, okay, we'll just let him sleep there. And then sometimes I'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and just walk home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's unusual. because my parents.
That's what you could do in Princeville.
Listen, when the street lights went on at 9 o'clock at night,
And nobody
we were to
knows.
be home. No, you had to be home. And if you weren't home at 9 o'clock, Mom would call you. In my case, would call me.
Well, yeah.
And if I didn't come right away, then somebody else called me, and that was my dad. And his tone of voice was quite a bit different than Mom's
Well,
was.
my dad worked second shift.
Oh, really?
And the rule was if Mom had to tell Dad when he got home, he'd go up to your bedroom and yank you out of bed and say, you know what you're getting this for? Spank you a
Ooh.
few times, put you to bed. So-
That's a nice going to bed
Well,
dream to have.
my mom would say, you want me to tell your dad?
Well, that was always
It
a
was,
good line.
it was the whole idea of you go to bed and you think, oh man, I can't go to sleep because I know what's going to happen. And, and after you get a spanking, hey, you felt good. You went right to sleep.
I don't. You,
So,
you may
It
have.
was just
If
all
I got a
idea.
spanking at night, I didn't go to sleep with the peace and love and tranquility.
But it was the whole idea that of the anticipation, kind of like going to the dentist.
I'll take your word for it. Your home was a little different than mine, but that's the thing that made your neighborhood so wonderful. There were so many different families and different attitudes, but the one thing they were all on the same page was if a kid stepped out of line, the phone would ring, or
Oh,
we would
yeah.
hear about get out of so and so's yard, quit picking the cherries off the our AUER. They lived across the street, Bobby and Jimmy Auer, and they had a wonderful tree that had wonderful cherries. And finally, the mother said to me and a couple of other neighborhood kids, "I tell you what, if you pick a container of cherries for me, so I can make cherry pie for my family, you can have anything after that off the tree." So we picked cherries and then got what she needed, and then spend the rest of the summer picking cherries off the tree as long as we could to eat. But not a neat idea. She said, "Go ahead, but before you pick cherries off the tree, you pick me a container," and she'd hand us a container.
There you go.
And we were like Bo Weevil going through a cotton field.
Well, and also, if I was at somebody else's house and I didn't adhere to the rules that they had at that house, my mom and dad say, "Hey, if he did something you didn't like, within reason, give
yeah,
him a spanking."
yeah. Well, it sounded like you got a lot of spankings in your life. Were you a bad kid? Mischievous?
I didn't think so.
You didn't think so? Well, good. Hey, we'll be right back. We have 74 degrees high today. 93. Don't go
Hi,
away.
I'm
Hi.
Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Did you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old. But I am a camping influencer. You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Hey, really?
I'll take the $5.
And a pleasant good morning, everybody. A check of the news at the bottom of the hour brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. For all your investment needs, consider Bob. Bob Manning available at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. And now with our news headlines, here's Terry.
41-year-old Aaron Rossi, former head of Redditors Laboratories, was sentenced to 3 years and a month after he pleaded guilty to defrauding insurance companies as well as the state of Illinois. Rossi's company did COVID testing, but not to the extent of how much he billed companies, which amounted to an estimated $300 million. He's currently serving a 5-year sentence for mail-in tax fraud. The Morton man has been in jail for 2 years. A Peoria County grand jury has indicted 3 persons for the death of 20-year-old Terrence Scott, 20-year-old Christopher Adams, 18-year-old Cameron Bell, and 17-year-old Lamar Cagle have been charged with first-degree murder. They allegedly shot Scott and another person in the 300 block of MacArthur Highway last month. Police found Scott dead in a vehicle that crashed following the shooting. East Peoria police say 2 young girls, ages 10 and 11, were hit by a car at the intersection of Sunrise and Devon Circle around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Both suffered serious injuries. And we're trying to get more details about a 4-year-old boy who reportedly was hit by a car near Providence Point. Those are the apartments or public housing area once known as Taft Homes. The child was injured in the 400 block of North Adams and taken to a local hospital. The Heart of Illinois Fair opened yesterday on the grounds of Expo Gardens. The 5-day event is minus the carnival and some livestock showings, but there's still plenty of entertainment for Central Illinois families each day and night from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Turning to national news, the Labor Department has announced inflation increased slightly last month to 2.7%. That's far from the 9.4% at one time under President Biden. The 0.03% increase was described by national media as an acceleration due in part to rising grocery prices, while gas prices were decreasing. President Trump was in Pennsylvania yesterday, where he announced $92 billion in investments from some 20 major energy and technology companies. The focus for some of the investments will be in artificial intelligence. Trump said we need to stay ahead of the Chinese. FBI agents have captured a man who fired at ICE agents during an attack at the ICE detention center in Alvarado, Texas on July 4th. 32-year-old Benjamin Song has been charged with attempted murder. Song was with 11 others in an organized attack at the facility. Attacks against ICE agents have increased 800% since many Democrat officials started voicing condemnation of arrest of illegal immigrant criminals. House Democrats have introduced a bill demanding the identity of ICE agents. The bill requires removal of masks, open name tags, and other information, which is a bad idea because that sets them up and they could get information and go after their families. Bad idea. Those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, now a check of the weather. Thank you, Terry. Brought to you by your hometown community banks division, the Morton Community Bank, employee-owned, locally operated. You can still choose a hometown bank at hometownbanks.com. Member FDIC. Well, we have quite a day in store for us. First of all, sunny and hot, up to 93. We could reach a heat index of 103. Plus, there's a very, very good chance for heavy showers and thunder boomers today, so be aware of that. And the showers and thunderstorms continue tonight with a low of 70. Tomorrow, cloudy, not as hot. Looks the high tomorrow, 78 degrees, with a 30% chance for rain. Friday will be cloudy and a high Friday of 82. Saturday, cloudy, a chance for thunderstorms, and a high of 88. We are up 1 degree to 75. It's a Wednesday morning, and that means time to talk with defense attorney Kevin Sullivan. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Roger.
We have 3 young people charged with murder, and I know there's some people saying, well, you can't charge all 3, can you, with murder? Because there was one guy that had the gun and fired the gun and killed the kid. So what's the story on charging all 3 with murder?
Well, first of all, the answer is yes, you can. In the old days, remember your parents probably told you to don't hang out with bad people because you'll be guilty by association. Well, now they call it accountability under the law. And that means that if you're acting in unison with others in the commission of a crime, and you either take part in the planning, the execution of it, or you don't separate yourself from the others when it has been committed, you are equally culpable as the person that maybe actually performed the deadly act. So that happens quite often under accountability. There's a lot of litigation as to whether somebody's accountable or somebody's not. Are they sufficiently involved or not? But accountability is certainly a very common thing. And, if somebody, for example, accountability could exist so far as if they were looking for, if let's say these three were looking to find a certain person, perhaps just injure him, shake him up, do whatever, perhaps even the driver that brought him to the scene could
Yeah.
be accountable for
And
the
not even
conduct.
know what was going on.
Well, they have to have some knowledge element of what either is planned or what's going on. And if they hang around, or if they then, let's say, are the getaway driver, that's in furtherance of the crime too. So that would apply.
Yeah.
But they have to, if all of a sudden, let's say that these three kids were going to some sort of an event, let's say a music concert down on the riverfront, and somehow they ran into somebody and a fight broke out, you're going to have a harder time with accountability there because it wasn't discussed, it wasn't planned. The others weren't in the midst of executing this. It kind of happened spontaneous, and therefore the trigger man would probably be solo in being charged under those circumstances. So that suggests to me that when this occurred, there was enough time to plan it. The three of them were working together. And I'm sure the state's attorney feels, anyway, that they have the evidence to go after all three of them directly or by accountability.
Now, all three probably will wind up, I'm going to assume, with probably public defenders.
Probably.
So let's say candidate number two was not the one who fired the gun. Would that attorney be pleading on behalf of his client that, hey, you can't charge him with murder because so and so, the other guy, is the one who shot the gun?
Well, you can always try that, and you can always file. In a lot of people are under the impression, at least clients, they always want to tell me, put a motion in. What about a motion? And I always say to the client, what motion do you want? I'm not putting a motion in just to say motion. A motion for discovery, a motion to suppress evidence, a motion to suppress a lineup, those sort of things. You got to have motions, got to be specific. So, what that attorney would probably argue as to defendant number two, and he wasn't the trigger man, he would probably want to look at the evidence that he's given and see how far he can separate his client from that of the direct culprit.
The guy who did it.
And what you would have in that situation is one of two scenarios. You would either take the case to trial and try to argue that he was not accountable for the conduct of the main guy, or you would enter some type of either a plea agreement or an open plea and say, look, Judge, yeah, technically he's guilty by association, but he wasn't the trigger man. He really didn't do that much to carry it out. So don't treat him as bad as the main guy in this situation. So, that's what happens. And then sometimes, the attorneys, because you're going to have three different public defenders for these three defendants, because they have potentially, they're legally conflicted, not personally, but legally, because they all may point the finger at each other, and you can't have the same lawyer representing the two of the same dudes, that are in that situation. So you're going to have three different lawyers. Sometimes it's advisable under the circumstances. Try to hold out for as long as you can. Let the other guys go first. But sometimes there's a benefit to being the first one to resolve your case, whether it's with a trial or with a plea, because your co-defendants in the situation may have Fifth Amendment rights that they're not going to testify against you. Or it looks good that you're the trendsetter. You're kind of the first one to the door, and you're the ones that now that let's say my client was the first one to enter a plea of guilty, if that's what the game plan was. Well, now he does not have a Fifth Amendment right for the most part. He is eligible to be forced to testify, and yet by doing that, that may prompt the others to consider the same sort of thing. So, in my experience, most judges should and have taken that into consideration when somebody's basically the first one to get to the steps of the courthouse.
Well, kind of give us the dynamics. So we have three public defenders, and two of them were not involved in the shooting, other that they were there. Would, as you say, the first plea would be someone would say, "Look, my client's willing to plead guilty to what? Involuntary manslaughter
Could be.
as a reduction, if you would accept that." Does he work with the other two attorneys, or it's every man for himself?
Well, it starts
Or
out
woman?
it starts out every person for themselves. Okay. And the most likely scenario would be the two people that have been brought in as under the accountability theory may team up, and they may either try to agree to testify against let's say, the shooter, as the case may be, because those two have more in common. They didn't necessarily immediately cause the fatal act. They were there. They may have contributed, participated to a lesser extent. So they may have more in common. So sometimes they may work things out. As an attorney, you may go to the state's attorney and say, if you'll be agreeable to do this kind of result, my client will cooperate and testify if you need them to testify. Now, a prosecutor's dream would be, okay, Sullivan, your client is willing to testify. We're going to knock this down from first degree to second degree murder for your client. They're not, in the case of that magnitude, they're not just going to pick a crime that's a lesser crime. They've got to the state's attorney will always want to pick an offense that has a fact pattern that justifies.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is, are they going to reduce it to jaywalking when there was no jaywalking? No, they're going to reduce it to, first degree murder. Maybe they're going to say about one of the guys in the accountability situation. It may be that you're not accountable, but you have enough involvement. So we're going to say that perhaps this wasn't as planned as we thought and was spontaneous. Therefore, you're going to get second degree murder. Or maybe you acted in a negligent or reckless fashion. So we're going to agree to reckless homicide. Those are some alternatives in exchange for you testifying. And now once the main defendant, the guy who pulled the trigger, realizes, hey, my two buddies are going to testify against me, I better think about how I'm going to handle this. He may rush in then and do a plea instead of drag it out for trial and make it worse.
Yeah. Are the three in the same cell at the county jail, or they separate? The reason I ask is, of the three, there's probably one guy who's a superior, you might say, or think he is the other two. And are they kind of are they able to communicate with one another, say, hey, sucker, you better not squeal on me, because if you do, the other members of the gang are going to get you?
They're going to want to separate them out at the county jail, and they're going to not want the communication, but they're also, exactly as the analogy you just pointed out, they're not going to want them to become adversaries about who's going to testify to what and all this and all this planning. And the other thing too is, if they're in the same cell or even the same pod, and others that are there completely unrelated to the situation, others that are in there find out these three guys are sitting ducks maybe for doing something really bad, it'd be a lot easier to victimize them, and go after all three at one time and have essentially an internal riot. So they're going to want to separate them to eliminate the communication, eliminate any sort of strategizing or whatever they're going to do. And they're going to do it for safety reasons too.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the national level. A judge in California has ruled that ICE agents cannot detain, arrest, apprehend bad guys. And it brings up the argument, and we've talked about this before, at what point can a district judge in whatever state, in this case California, supersede the authority of federal agents, in this case ICE agents?
Well, there's a couple ways to answer that question. First of all, ICE agents work for the federal government. They take their direction from somebody at the federal level. Under the United States Constitution, which supersedes all other laws of the land, there's a supremacy clause that when there's a conflict, the federal Constitution applies. Therefore, the federal government, I'm going to say, trumps the state court, so to speak, and that's,
Right.
no pun intended. So
It's just a fact.
That's how it's supposed to work. Now, this judge in California, if it's the same thing, the same one I'm thinking about, issued one of these plenary or universal injunctions that apply across the country. But he did it under the guise of a class action lawsuit, which now means, based upon the case in which the Supreme Court in a 6-3 vote said these district judges can no longer issue these blanket injunctions that hamstring all four corners of the country. If they're going to do it, they've got to the injunctions only apply to the participants in that case, unless you are going to make it a class action case. Then you've got to certify the class affected, and then only then can you consider issuing a universal or a plenary injunction. So what this judge said is, well, I'm gonna certify the class because every immigrant therefore is part of the class and they should not be apprehended, and that's not going to stand up very well. First of all, class action lawsuits are typically civil in nature. And there's a lot of work that goes into being able to certify the class in a lawsuit. Like, let's say, for example, let's go back years ago in Peoria. I don't know why this example popped in my mind. Remember when the Skewer Inn had the botulism problem?
Yes, sure do.
And let's say that they had 100 people. I don't think they did, but let's say for our example, they had 100 patrons that got very, very sick or even worse. Now, what some attorney could have done at that point in time is say, I'm filing a class action because we got 100 people that ate at the Skewer Inn. They had the bad onions, they got sick or died, and therefore the class is similarly certified. There's going to have to be some digging down in that situation to see if exactly when those people were there, what they ate, what their symptoms were, what the reaction was, things like that. And that takes a while to build up and qualify that class. Now, in a situation like this, you've got these immigrants that, we're going to say I'm going to say they're here without authority. They have not been vetted. But you have varying degrees of these immigrants. You've got some that maybe do not have a criminal record. You have some that might be minors that are kind of fending for themselves. You have people that may have committed misdemeanors in our country, felonies in our country, maybe some that are already sitting in jail, or you may have some that committed heinous crimes out of the country before they immigrated to the United States. So I think, if you're going to be prioritizing who ICE can remove, you've got to come up with the class. And I think just the example I gave you, there's at least 2, 3, or 4 different classes of people there. And obviously the priority is we want to get rid of, on the news, the bad hombres. We want to get rid of the people that either have severe criminal history or have committed crimes in this country. That's priority number one. Now, when they go around and round up the migrants or the immigrants or the
farmers, the
illegals,
janitors, whatever. Yeah.
and sometimes they're going to have to other people get caught up in that dragnet.
Right.
And I think that's unavoidable because it's like when a police officer is making an arrest, let's say on Knoxville Avenue, after a bad situation. Their job is, hey, we got to secure the scene. We got to get the suspect into custody. We don't need create any other dangers or a sideshow. Let's get him in. Let's get him out. Let's get him out of the situation. Same thing with ICE. You're not going to, you're going to round up these people. You're going to maybe get them to a detention facility. And then maybe you're going to look at and see who's who and who's doing what or did what, for example. But you're not going to, these cops are not, these ICE agents are not walking up to these people with an iPad saying, give me your name, and then doing the history. Oh, well, let's see here. If we look at this, you're only a level 2. Yeah, go back to work. And for example, they busted that illegal cannabis operation in California. And, California has legalized marijuana. However, this was unregistered, and the people there, I understand, were very, very young that were doing the work. And it's believed that that cannabis farm, undocumented, again, not registered, not part of the California system, is supposedly There's a kingpin out of the country that was managed or owned that and was in charge of that. So, and they shut down some child labor problems when they went in and busted that. Keeping in mind, cannabis is still illegal under the federal law. And again, the federal law, the federal agents, whether they're ICE, whether they're DEA, whether they're ATF, whether they're FBI, if they want to come in, for example, and they want to, let's say, raid a place in Peoria that's a dispensary, they could do that under the federal law. Now, they're not going to do it because they have obviously an understanding, so there's some forbearance there. But they could if they wanted to. Now, ironically, the cannabis laws that are on the books of the federal system are not nearly as punitive as they are in the state system. They just don't treat marijuana or cannabis that harshly. Flip side is when you get into the controlled substance world, look out in federal court. They have a lot of minimum mandatory sentences that maybe start at like 5 to life, 10 to life, 20 to life,
Cocaine.
depending on any number. You look at there's hundreds of controlled substances that are listed that are prohibited, and it ranges everywhere from synthetic cannabis to meth or fentanyl, for example. And so I think in this situation, ICE is going to prevail. I think the appellate court on this injunction will send it back and say, we're going to remand it. In other words, send this back to the trial court. They need to make a better record as to who are the members of the class. What is the class? Is everybody sufficiently connected, basically on the same footing? And I think that's just a matter of time before that happens. I think if it gets to the Supreme Court, it'll either do one thing. The Court of Appeals, I think, will send it back for further work in the trial court. It may be that somebody tries to get this appeal to the Supreme Court. They may or may not accept it. They don't have to accept it. I think what the Supreme Court would do would be, I think, do the same thing. I think send it back to the trial court, make a better record as to why this is a class action lawsuit.
I don't know whether it's going to come to this, but I have wondered when a judge makes a ruling, as an example on this Garcia guy, and the judge says this guy needs to be returned to the country, and I'm giving you 48 hours to get him back, or words to the effect.
Mm-hmm.
And the Trump administration, let's say, said in essence, no, we're not going to do it. What happens? What authority? What can a judge do? Can he send Trump to prison for it? I just don't understand, because again, the separation of powers.
Well, I think, ultimately the executive branch is in charge of immigration. They're in charge of, for example, building the wall. They're in charge of who gets in and who does not get into this country. They're in charge of executing, the orders of the president, maybe even carrying out orders of a court. So I think a judge would have to be very careful in what the judge would say. A judge may say, I'm ordering that these people be deported. And I think at that point, it would go back to the executive branch to do what they're going to do. They could say, okay, we're not going to comply within 48 hours because we're not going to use one of our planes to transport one person back to El Salvador. We are going to detain these people, for example, in Alligator Alcatraz, until we have enough of them to justify the plane ride or the expense of the same. So I think they can play. I think the court can make the order, but I think it's up to the executive branch to carry out that order in somewhat of a reasonable fashion. And I think that, I think knowing how the administration feels about the immigration problem, I don't see why they wouldn't honor it. They just may not do it as quickly as the judge requires.
All right, one final subject, and I had a hard time sleeping last night, so I hope you give the right answer. But I have received in the last month 2 cards indicating that there's been a class action suit, and that I may be part of that class action suit.
Yep, I've got it.
And you've gotten them, and all God's children have gotten them. And I looked at that very closely and thought, could I receive money? Is there a chance, an outside chance, but still a chance, And I finally concluded yesterday, Roger, I don't recall ever suffering any kind of damage or whatever, and I threw them in the garbage. Did I do the right thing?
Well,
Please help me out.
okay, you got to read the card. Sometimes it says, if you want to be in this class action, you need not do anything further. If you want to opt out, contact this number or go online. So that's sometimes.
I did read that in
Okay.
both cards.
Okay, then you're okay if that's what it says.
I think I'm okay too.
Okay.
Thank you. I think you're okay too, Kevin.
But thanks. It's
Yeah.
Mutual Aspiration Society. So, but if it says you need to do something to opt in, then, then you have to take a formal step, whatever's required. Most of the ones I've seen are, you don't need to do anything. We've got your name and number. We'll let you know when this
People do
settles.
have my name and number,
Well,
unfortunately, for that.
Speaking of
Well,
life,
is that required by law, by a judge who said, well, you have to? I think one of them had to do with the release of data, or
Well,
you've got one there,
I
don't
got
you?
that right here. It was a breach of information from Aetna. Okay. And so it says you've got these choices. Do a cash payment A, documented losses. You may submit a claim form and provide reasonable documentation for losses related to the data
See,
incident.
that's what got me.
For
You got
up,
to submit a claim.
for up to $5,000 per settlement class member. Or cash payment B, alternative cash payment. Instead of cash payment A, without providing documentation, you may submit a claim form to receive an alternative cash payment in the estimated amount of $85. And you'll get 1 year of dark web monitoring.
okay. So if you do nothing, you're going to get dark web monitoring and $85. If for somehow you were aggrieved and can prove it, you maybe get up to $5,000. Class action lawsuits, I think, for the most part, are a farce. And what I know about them, I've never handled one, but there is an attorney in Illinois that has a reputation. For example, if you're drinking a bottle, a thing of Gatorade, let's say, and it says it's 12 ounces, but they only put 11.5 ounces in. He's initiating this lawsuit against Gatorade, saying you're screwing the people by 1/2 of 1 ounce per serving.
And that's happened.
What happens, and the judges are having a fit, and they've tried to shut this guy down, and they've even tried ethically to address it with the guy's license, and I don't honestly know where it stands right now. But if an attorney can find a legitimate class action lawsuit, the attorneys make out like bandits, and you may get 85 cents.
When in doubt,
You
sue.
know?
When in doubt, sue, right?
Yeah. So it's there are special rules. It is difficult to get your class certified. It takes a judge to do that, and then you oftentimes, most of them settle. And because of the expense of going through trial from the defense or the target or the company, whatever the situation may be. So it's a real minimal recovery for most people, except for the attorneys. They do pretty well.
Yeah. Hey, I got a notice about the water, lead in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They tell you that. I guess it's their way of making sure that they don't get in trouble for having lead in the water. But the lead in the water's been in there for years.
Well, they said that the letter I received said they found high levels periodically of lead in
And
higher
phone
levels.
call too. Yeah.
And are they doing that to avoid a lawsuit?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's the case, because maybe nobody would ever know the difference or not even get sick.
I think there's a law that requires them to.
I think that's what I was getting to. As a public utility, I think they have to have some sort of notice requirement in that situation. Yeah, and I don't think it made it as far as a boil.
No, they haven't issued a boil. They just indicated, I think, 4 or 5 samples out of 100 showed high levels of lead, and I got the impression that they were mandated by law to make that announcement, but that it is not at a dangerous level.
Yeah, I think it was purely precautionary, And it's one of those that if they wouldn't have done it and somebody audited their books and found these test results, they would have been criticized. So at least they're out in front of it. But again, I think they are doing it. I think there's several, not just being a utility, but I think maybe the Illinois Commerce Commission, some other agency is going to require them to send out notifications.
Get ahead of the Gatorade guy.
That's right.
You bet. Well, as always, very educational, very informative. Thank you, Kevin Sullivan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Very
We'll
much.
see you next Wednesday.
You bet. Stay tuned. News, weather, sports, and more next on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois.
Dr. Gene Sidler here, one of the friends on Roger and Friends for breakfast here. Sometimes we make some sense on this program, so check it out. It's worth listening to on 90.7 WAZU, 6 to 9 a.m. each weekday.
Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 16th, and we kick things off in this segment of Breakfast with Roger and Friends with a check of the weather brought to you by Steve Zink. He's the managing partner of PHX Affiliates. He's been a business broker now for more than 20 years. He knows business, and you can learn more from Steve by calling 309-696-8508. Steve Zink at 696-8508. Mostly sunny and hot today, and I mean hot. A high of 93. A heat index could reach as high as 103. And there's a very good chance we're going to have some heavy rain and some thunder boomers. So be aware of that. And that will continue into tonight's hours as well, with an overnight low of 70. Tomorrow, cloudy and not as hot. 78 the high tomorrow, with a 30% chance for rain. Friday it'll be cloudy and 82, so enjoy these cool, relatively speaking, temperatures. Saturday, cloudy, showers and thunderstorms, and a high of 88. And right now we are at 76 degrees. Now with our lead story, here's Terry.
41-year-old Aaron Rossi, former head of Reditus Laboratories, was sentenced to 3 years and a month after he was found guilty of defrauding insurance companies as well as the state of Illinois. Rossi's company did COVID testing, but not to the extent of how much he billed the companies, which amounted to an estimated $300 million. He's currently serving a 5-year sentence for mail and tax fraud. The Morton man has been in jail for 2 years.
A Peoria County grand jury has indicted 3 persons for the death of 20-year-old Teron Scott, 20-year-old Christopher Adams, 18-year-old Cameron Bell, and 17-year-old Lamar Cagle. All 3 have been charged with first-degree murder. They allegedly shot Scott and another person in the 300 block of MacArthur Highway last month. Police found Scott dead in the back seat of a vehicle that crashed following the shooting. That second person, by the way, has since recovered from injuries he sustained in the incident.
East Peoria police say 2 young girls, ages 10 and 11, were hit by a car at the intersection of Sunrise and Devron Circle around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Both suffered serious injuries.
And we're also trying to get more details about a 40-year-old boy who reportedly was hit by a car near Providence Point. That's a public housing area in the area once known as Taft Homes. The child was injured in the 400 block of North Adams and taken to a local hospital.
The Heart of Illinois Fair opened yesterday on the grounds of Expo Gardens. The 5-day event is minus the carnival and some livestock showings, but there's still plenty of entertainment for Central Illinois families each day and night from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
In national news, the Labor Department has announced inflation increased slightly last month to 2.7%. That's an increase, they said, of 0.03%, and due in part to rising grocery prices. Gas prices, on the other hand, were decreasing. President Trump again urged Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell to reduce interest rates, which remain among the highest in the Western world.
FBI agents have captured the guy who fired at ICE agents during an attack at the ICE detention center in Alvarado, Texas on July 4th. 32-year-old Benjamin Song has been charged with attempted murder. Song was with 11 others in an organized attack at the facility. He managed to escape, but was apprehended later and is now behind bars.
Attacks against ICE agents have increased by over 800% since many Democrat officials started voicing the criticism of arrests of illegal immigrant criminals. House Democrats have actually introduced a bill demanding the identity of ICE agents. The bill requires the removal of masks, open name tags, and other information, making it easier for others to learn who they are, putting agents and their families at risk.
California Senator Adam Schiff could be in trouble. A federal housing agency has sent a criminal referral to the Justice Department regarding Schiff's ownership of a house in Maryland, where he claimed he lived when applying for a home loan. Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division said Schiff engaged in possible mortgage fraud to gain a lower interest rate. Schiff says President Trump is trying to get even for his ongoing attacks against him. Schiff can't be living in Maryland when he represents California.
And that's a look at some of the stories we're following. Let's turn to sports. And Tyrus is here with the latest, which not a lot. When did they start playing or resume the normal schedule?
I think Friday, because I know the Cardinals definitely play Friday.
That's when they play. Okay, so they have off today and tomorrow both.
Yeah, I think maybe some teams might play tomorrow. Maybe some
Okay.
teams might.
Well, I didn't mean to get into your sports report. I mean, far be it for me to.
Oh, you're fine.
It's your show, Roger.
I said sports.
That's true.
I think I heard everybody's going to be
Yeah, it's
back
Friday.
on Friday. They're
That's
gonna
definitely Friday.
give it a bit.
Well, there you have it. See,
Rest.
quickly this brain trust function together.
Yep, definitely Friday. Let's start in the MLB, and the winner of the home run derby was Cal Raleigh. He won it with his younger brother and father. So it was a pretty cool moment for them. All-Star game, the American League came back from a 6-0 hole, tying the game 6-6 in the ninth inning on an infield hit from Stephen Kwan. Instead of extra innings, fans got something new. So the game was tied, so they went into a swing-off for extra innings, where each player got 3 swings to hit some home runs, with the NL down 3-1 in that. Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies clutched up and hit 3 homers to take the lead, putting the pressure on the AL, and that's all it took for the NL to win that. So they have won the All-Star game. It's their second win in a couple of years. The last one in 2023. And he was also the MVP of that game. And Brendan Donovan of the Cardinals went 2 for 3.
Oh, he did. Good for him.
Sure did. But he got in the ninth inning, he had like a little chopper, like in front of the plate that ended up. It was a foul ball, but it rolled
into fair
inches fair,
and it was a base hit.
No, that's he was trying to go for 3 for 3, but he kind of fouled one off that rolled in front of the plate, like just barely. They called it fair.
They called it fair. How did Crow Armstrong for the Cubs do?
They did pretty good. I mean, Kyle Tucker made a nice play out in left field, like a sliding play, and
yes.
I mean, they did pretty good.
Okay, well, I'm not sure what that means, other than did pretty good.
They were okay.
They were okay. Okay.
It's all right. It's okay.
In the NHL, the Blackhawks signed their number 3 overall pick in this year's draft to a 3-year entry-level contract, which is Anton Frondell. He will get his shot at making the team this year. If not, it's okay because he's got time to develop, and he will definitely be on their team at some point in the future. The Blackhawks will open the season against the reigning champs, the Florida Panthers, on October 7th. In NFL news, the Chiefs lock-up guard Trey Smith, extending him to a 4-year, $92 million deal to make him the highest-paid guard in NFL history. Money just keeps going up.
I know.
So this level is set right here. So the next person that comes up, they're gonna want more than what he got.
Hey, I'm better than he is. I need more money.
What would they do without TV?
Flop.
No, the money.
Yeah.
The money comes from TV.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it comes from TV. Obviously, the ball clubs make money selling hot dogs that you buy for pennies on the dollar and sell for $10, $12. But the big, you're right, Gary. The big cash flow is from television.
Right.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 30 of the NFL's 32 second-round picks still have not signed their contracts with while their agents angle for the same guarantees the first 2 picks of that round got in May. The Bears have the league high of 3 second-rounders not signed, which is Shamar Turner and Ozzie Trapillo. And
Oh, yeah, 2 well-known names. Yeah. Luther Burden. Who are they? On what position do they play?
Well, Ozzie's a tackle.
Ozzie Harriet?
Ozzie and Harriet.
Yeah.
Ozzie. Luther was a wide receiver from Missouri.
Well, they need a wide receiver.
Yeah, that was really good. And
how about Harriet?
Ozzie played at Boston College.
So I saw the other day where you talk about stadiums making money and everything.
Yeah,
it's all from TV, maybe radio too, of course. But like Busch Stadium, you know what team has sold completely out of Busch Stadium in the last 3 years? Full capacity. In fact, they had to turn people away.
I would say it'd have to be the Cubs.
No, I'm going to give you a hint. It's not a National League or American League team.
Yeah.
It's a semi-pro team.
Yeah, the Banana.
The Bananas.
Yeah, the
Banana
Savannah, the Savannah Banana League.
Yeah.
Stuff.
They sold out Busch Stadium.
Really?
Yeah.
And they have to have a venue like Busch Stadium in order to get to people because people are begging to come to see those shows. They turn the lights on.
Oh yeah, it's like the Globetrotter stuff of baseball is what it is. It's pretty cool actually.
But it's better than the Globetrotters because
never heard of them.
It's better than the Globetrotters because they change things up. The Globetrotters
do the same act.
Yeah. But
it's so good. I enjoy the Globetrotters. I haven't seen them in umpteen years, but I enjoyed them, even though I knew they were playing the Washington Generals, and they flopped for them.
Yeah, well, but see, this Banana Ball, they have like 3 or 4 different teams they play, and when they play them, there's not always a determination that the Bananas are going to win.
Yeah,
the other team might win too because they all go by the same rules. There's no designated.
Is it hardball or is it softball?
It's regular baseball.
Yeah,
it's regular baseball.
It's regular
baseball.
And they do all kinds of tricks. Like some guy will do like a flip catch on a pop up in the outfield, or like when they're coming up, or it's like a showman thing. So
they have a pitcher that's on his stilts, pitching on stilts.
You're kidding.
Yep, he bats that away too.
Yeah, they're a professional baseball team based in Savannah, Georgia, obviously, known for the unique and entertaining style of play called Banana Ball.
Yep.
They are not part of a traditional baseball league, instead of playing exhibition games against their own touring teams, like the Party Animals, Firefighters, and the Texas Tailgaters.
Yep.
And a lot of the players, I'd say probably 90% of them, have had their chance at professional ball. They got into the semi-pros or whatever, and they just didn't make it. And so they're not just a bunch of dummies that don't know how to play ball. They're
real ball
they're
players.
good. They're real ball players, and the
just throw in a bunch of
the umpires. the umpires do a little dancing once in a while, and it's all something different every day.
Well, they have the banana ball has a set unique rules. Like there's no bunting. There's a 2-hour time limit.
Mhm.
Fans catching the foul balls for outs.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, if the fans catch
I forgot about
it
that.
out.
Batter stealing first base, and a 1-on-1 tiebreaker at the end of tied games. So I bet it moves fast. I bet it's fun. That would be
Yeah.
entertaining.
Well, one of them did like.
Well, it's really not baseball. It's entertainment.
No, it's just entertainment.
That's right. It's
But
entertainment.
they're selling out the stadium, like Busch
Mhm.
Stadium.
Mhm.
In the last 3 years, the first time that Busch Stadium's ever been sold out was when they used it.
Yeah, but let me point out, Gary, it's one time. They don't play a series at Busch Stadium. They don't play 3 games in a
There you
row,
go.
3 days in a row, or 3 nights in a
That's why
game.
it's sold
It's
out.
a one-time show.
And people want to see it too.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why they
true.
go to that, and it's one time. But you're right, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they sell them out. There's
Well,
people
Yeah.
like,
Well, you know, if you have a good rock band come to Peoria, they will sell out.
For
Elton
sure.
John sold out both times that he came.
You're
what
right.
it tells
But-
me is people are getting
Interested
I
in
go
it.
to the Chiefs games, and about a third of the stands are filled. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, a lot of the seats are
All
all
right,
full.
I'm willing to bet if the Bananas played 162 games, that they would not all be sold out.
That's true. I don't want. But here's the thing. I don't want.
I wouldn't bet against you on that, Roger.
It,
Okay.
It's kind of popular.
Okay.
It's kind
How
of
about a
popular.
cookie? I gave you a cookie. I'll bet you a cookie. Yeah.
No,
Novelty.
It's there or not.
That makes
You know, it's entertainment.
Roger, I ate the cookie
It-
already.
It is entertainment,
Yep.
and that's what they do. Just like the Globetrotters.
But isn't to me sports isn't that supposed to be some form of entertainment?
It definitely
Well,
is.
sports,
You're right.
sports has become entertainment.
But but if it gets boring and they leave like at the 5th or 6th inning, just leave because they're bored.
Yeah.
You don't
Well, then
see
you
that
don't like
happen
baseball
very
then,
often.
you know?
There are people who will stay, and I'll tell you a good example is when I visited my sister one year and her ex-husband and I and the 2 boys went to a Dodger game, and there were people still coming into the game in the 3rd inning, and guess what? In the 7th inning, there were people leaving because of the heavy traffic. They didn't want to play. I said, "Well, how can you be a baseball fan? Get there late
That's
and
what
leave
I'm
early."
saying. Yeah.
Well, isn't there a rule? And I think
Either way, they still paid
Busch
for the
Stadium, I
ticket.
think it is. You can't buy beer after the 7th inning. They won't
Well,
let you have
I
beer.
understand that.
Yeah,
Well, that's why they got those places around the stadium that you can just walk to.
yeah, to
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, outside the stadium.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more sports, or are we
Well,
pretty well
I was gonna say
buried
about
that?
the Savannah Banana thing. So,
Okay. Yes. Okay.
one of the players, they always do like a walk-up thing for either pitching or batting, doesn't matter. I mean, we do that anyways. But he did like the Greatest Showman thing.
The greatest what?
Like, you ever seen that movie, The Greatest Showman?
No.
Like, he did a song from that when he came out of the stands.
Oh yeah.
He had the
Hugh Jackman was the.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
it's a circus about P.T. Barnum and the circus and all
Okay.
that stuff. So he had he had the circus jacket on, and he came up and they did like this whole dance and song, and
What was the name of the movie?
The Greatest Showman.
you should watch that
This was
movie
in
with
Banana
Kathy.
Ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They do, and you know what? They perform those. They practice those
Oh yeah,
those dance numbers more than they do practice playing baseball.
you're right,
Mhm.
and that's it. I mean,
And
Okay.
they make good money too.
Yeah.
move
They do.
on.
Well, that's what we need. We
All the sports we're listening to, right?
well, we need a theme like that to open hour number 3 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends. The Happy Together by the Turtles.
That's right.
Or the Turtles. I don't know.
You look like
If I should invest it down and you say you belong to me, please imagine how we would be so very fun, so happy together. I guess you
Now, who are the Turtles? Was that an English group?
I thought they were.
Also known as Flo and Eddie.
You what?
Flo and Eddie.
Flo and Eddie.
Who's Flo?
Flo
What's
and
he,
Eddie.
Eddie?
What?
Who's Flo?
They were Al Nickel, Chip Douglas, Johnny Barbata, Mark Volman, Jim Tucker, and Howard Kalin.
5 people, the Turtles, U.S. guys.
Yes, U.S.
Okay.
guys.
I believe the song was 1967. Do I remember that right? Did I remember?
That'd be about right.
That's Shindig.
Well, that's what it says on the screen. Yeah, right here, 1967.
Well, I meant the show that this is performing from.
Probably
Shindig.
would it be Ed Sullivan? Was he still operating?
Ed Sullivan. I think it was Shindig.
It was what?
Shindig. That was a show
I'll take your word for it.
where they had a lot of these singers on them.
All right, the Turtles, we're happy together on this
And we're happy
Wednesday.
together.
Yes, we are. On this day,
Here we
July,
go. Trivia.
July 16th, 1951.
Okay.
I'll make it somewhat easier for you. A certain novel was published.
Okay.
What was it?
In the United States.
Was the
Yes,
author a
yes,
U.S. citizen?
yes,
Okay.
I guess.
Male or female?
Tobacco Road.
Male.
Tobacco Road.
Well,
The name of this book was Tobacco Road.
no.
No. Okay.
What are you wanting?
And he was 31. I want to know what the
The name of the book or both?
and both. Yes. Yes,
The
ma'am.
book
Both.
and the writer, huh?
Yes. Mhm.
So it wasn't Tobacco Road.
No, for the third time.
That's the only one I can think of right now.
Okay. And that's the fourth time. So,
Cannery Row.
what was it? What?
Cannery Row by
No.
John Steinbeck.
No, I got all excited. No, I thought you had it. And the author was 31 years of age. Worked on it for a decade, he said.
Oh my.
A decade. Oh,
This book.
since he was 21, huh?
31.
Yeah, but
Well,
he was 31 when he
you started. Very good. 10 minus
did that all in my head.
1 minus 10.
Yeah,
I did that all in my head. I didn't need a calculator. Let's see. The book.
He also published something in 1963.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know if that helps you. Probably not. And he quit in 1965.
Okay.
What
was the same year he divorced his wife.
So
He gave up everything. Gave up his wife. Gave up his writing. Gave up
so what?
tobacco.
So what kind of was it a mysteries or were they westerns or were they loves? What?
He died. He died at age 91 in the year 2010.
Oh my gosh.
You're looking for one particular novel right now, right? This is
Yes. Mhm.
In Harm's Way. Oh no.
Was it
What?
Philip Roth?
No.
Name of the person?
And he wants the name of the book.
Yeah, the
and-
name of the book and the person.
Author.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
It's not Hemingway, right?
No, it's not Hemingway.
Eric Siegel?
No, incorrect. I'm
Um,
trying to think what clues I can give you.
It would be
Yeah.
helpful,
Yes,
yes.
it would be helpful.
There's a lot of authors.
The book took the country by storm,
Oh boy.
according to what I'm reading
okay,
here.
Storm, huh?
Mhm.
Does that anything to do with the name of the book?
And it was the book took the country by storm, selling out and becoming a Book of the Month Club selection.
Is it
Oh,
Dr.
boy.
Benjamin Spock?
No.
No. This
And
is Oprah, right?
by the way, Fame, listen to this. Fame did not agree with the author, who retreated to a hilltop cabin in Cornish,
Oh
New
my
York.
God.
J.D. Salinger?
That is correct.
And what was the name of the book?
Name of the book?
Catch 22?
You're You have
It's a Catcher of the Rye.
Catcher
Rye.
in
Oh my!
the Rye is correct.
That was
for
a dirty
200.
book.
Yes, it was.
That was a dirty book, yeah.
Was it?
I don't know. I haven't read it.
Have you read? You apparently read it.
Well, when
What you do? Skim through it to find
You're a librarian. You don't want to read that book. It's
well,
got,
when it's sitting on the shelf, it does get dusty. So
Yeah. He became reclusive, and it's always one of those things that here's a guy who's brilliant, but his brilliance actually, in many ways, destroyed him, and you wonder why. Why not take your fame and your achievements and celebrate it? But it became, I guess you would call it, I'm no psychiatrist or psychologist, it became a demon for him.
Because some people just can't handle
They
it.
can't. He published Franny and Zooey in 1963. Does that ring a bell?
No.
No. Apparently it didn't for him either. Based on 2 combined New York stories, but he stopped, as they say, writing, publishing in 1965. I just wonder, and we don't get into the divorce aspect because we don't know what happened, but he may have been bugging his wife and said, you know what, you're in that case, I'll see you later, alligator, or something of that. But
right.
but he is a famous author, is he not? J.D. Salinger,
Yep.
fairly well known.
Well, sometimes they just get sunk in.
So it was the only American
working.
They get drawn in. Yeah.
And they block out.
Yep.
That's the only novel he had. Catcher in the J.G. Salinger.
Yep.
Well, maybe he was
He's a big
trying
one.
to think up another banger, and
Maybe he wrote some and they just didn't take off.
And didn't, yeah.
He can
yeah,
take so many rejection slips from the publishers.
yeah.
No, you're right.
And you just slip into something else, and that probably ruined that relationship for sure.
You're
But,
probably right. All right, we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Illinois.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
All right, let's get into the bottom of the hour news and weather, brought to you by Kyle Varnold. He's an insurance professional. He's our weather guy as well. Maybe we'll hear from him because we have the threat
Call him up.
of thunderstorms and showers, and he'll bring us up to date, so we'll find out. At any rate, he's also in the insurance business, and he can shop around on your behalf to find the right coverage at the right price. And it doesn't matter what it is, homeowners. By the way, State Farm raising its premium rates and has some people out of breath over that. Well, just switch companies for crying out loud. He's a good guy to go to because he's a broker. He can shop around to find the right price and the right coverage. And you can reach Kyle at 309-682-0519. Let me repeat that number, 682-0519. Now with the news, here's Terry.
That'd be a good song. My mama told me to shop around.
Shop around.
Yep.
Wasn't there a song like that?
Yes, I'm saying that. That'd be
To
one
shop
to
around.
look
Who's
at.
it by?
Oh, Cher did a version of it.
Who did?
Cher.
Cher?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the title of it? Shop around?
Shop around. Mm-hmm.
I'll see if I can find it while you do the news.
41-year-old Aaron Rossi, former head of Reditus Laboratories, was sentenced to 3 years and a month after he pleaded guilty to defrauding insurance companies as well as the state of Illinois. Rossi's company did COVID testing, but not to the extent of how much he billed the companies, which amounted to an estimated $300 million. He's currently serving a 5-year sentence for mail and tax fraud. The Morton man has been in jail for 2 years. A Peoria County grand jury has indicted 3 persons for the death of 20-year-old Taryn Scott, 20-year-old Christopher Adams, 18-year-old Cameron Bell, and 17-year-old Lamar Cagle have been charged with first-degree murder. They allegedly shot Scott and another person in the 300 block of MacArthur Highway last month. Police found Scott dead in a vehicle that crashed following the shooting. East Peoria police say 2 young girls, ages 10 and 11, were hit by a car at the intersection of Sunrise and Devron Circle around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Both suffered serious injuries. And we're trying to get more details about a 4-year-old boy who reportedly was hit by a car near Providence Point. That's the public housing area once known as Taft Homes. The child was injured in the 400 block of North Adams and taken to a local hospital. The Heart of Illinois Fair opened yesterday on the grounds of Expo Gardens. The 5-day event is minus the carnival and some livestock showing, but there's still plenty of entertainment for such Illinois families each day and night from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. There's going to be a dog show and a flea market. And I saw an article that Safari Sam's going to be back.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So
and you can find plenty of things to do. Don't boycott it. Attend the Heart of Illinois Fair.
Go out and have a corn dog for old times' sake.
You're right.
For all
Amen
lang
to
syne.
that.
There we go. Turning to national news, the Labor Department has announced inflation increased slightly last month. It increased to 2.7%. That was an increase of 0.3%, described by national media as an acceleration due in part to rising grocery prices, but gas prices were decreasing. President Trump was in Pennsylvania yesterday, where he announced $92 billion in investments from some 20 major energy and technology companies. The focus for some of the investments will be in artificial intelligence. Trump said we need to stay ahead of the Chinese. FBI agents have captured a man who fired at ICE agents during an attack at the ICE detention center in Alvarado, Texas on July 4th. 32-year-old Benjamin Song has been charged with attempted murder. Song was with 11 others in an organized attack at the facility. And speaking of attacks against ICE agents have increased by 800% since many Democrat officials started voicing condemnation of arrests of illegal immigrant criminals. House Democrats have introduced a bill demanding the identity of ICE agents. The bill requires the removal of masks, open name tags, and other information. Those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, and then now a check of the weather. We're transported to Central Illinois in time of need. AMT will be there in a matter of minutes with the most skilled and advanced pre-hospital care possible. AMT, dedicated to providing a better life through better health. How about the weather, Roger? Mostly sunny and hot today. High 93, a heat index reaching 103 miserable degrees. And there's a good chance that add to the mugginess. Is there such a word as mugginess?
Could be.
Well, we just made one if there isn't. At any rate, it'll be muggy, let's put it that way, with a chance for showers and thunderburners today, and some could be quite heavy. And the showers and thunderstorms will continue tonight with a low of 70. Tomorrow to be cloudy, not as hot. Boy, look at tomorrow, 78 the high. I think I'll go out and pull weeds. It's too hot to do that right now. That's a miserable 30% chance for rain tomorrow. Friday, cloudy and 82. Another nice temperature. Good temperatures for the Heart of Illinois Fair.
Yep.
So keep that in mind as you wonder what you're going to do this weekend. Saturday, cloudy, showers and thunderstorms, a high of 88. And currently, I have a temperature of 76 degrees. And there you have the weather. Is this the song?
That's the song.
This is the song.
Yes. Yeah, they did it
This
first.
is Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
And then she said, just because you become a young man now, it's still some things that you don't understand. Become home as you can. Told me you better shop. I want you to shop, shop, shop. Oh, but you don't know now. Jerry, no, don't come. Women, let it go now. People, you get too long, so now. Better shop around.
What are we talking about with this song anyway? You remember, is it the 60s? 60s or the 50s?
Late 50s. Yes, 61, 62. Get your
This song. I haven't heard this song in years and decades and years. What were we talking about?
61.
61.
61.
I remember that year.
Do you remember that year?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shoot, you're 26. You don't remember anything. You weren't even a gleam in your mother's eye.
Teacher told you about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was a good year. Went down to the
Back where I was
dance area, and we had a
Yeah, went to the
shindig.
prom, right? Shindig.
This is interesting. This little blurb said that it was written by Smokey Robinson.
Well, there you go. So I played the right version. You mentioned Cher,
Yeah.
but she had a version of it.
Yeah, but
Yep.
she
did a cover, right?
She did the female version.
The female version.
Yeah,
Right.
your mama told me as a young man now.
Mhm.
Mama told me as a
Yeah,
young
a
girl
woman
now.
now. Yep.
Okay, I'll take that. Mama told me to listen to the pet tip of the day.
Today's
right.
pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and, of course, cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. As the weather turns warmer and outdoor activities increase, remember your pooch's sensitivities, especially his foot pads. Hot pavement can work like a blast furnace. Walk your dog in the morning or late evening when the ground is not as hot. Carry a small dog over the hot pavement to a grassy area. Walking over sharp, coarse gravel or on a running track can also damage a dog's foot pads. Foot pad injuries in dogs can range from abrasions, blisters, burns, ulcers, tears, punctures, and lacerations. The common clinical signs are limping, licking at the feet, or bleeding. You might also see cracking. This ailment is serious and needs to be attended to quickly. Anything other than a superficial abrasion should be treated by your veterinarian, as foot pads do not heal like regular skin. Home care for mild abrasions includes gently rinsing the affected foot under cool water, then an application of an antibacterial ointment. I prefer Veteriacin. It's a reliable wound solution that does not interfere with the wound healing process, but products such as Neosporin can also be used. Finally, placing nonstick Telfa pad over the foot pad and lightly wrap with vet wrap or an ACE bandage. The bandage should be kept clean and dry and changed daily until the pads have healed. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at PeoriaPetCrematory.com.
Well, there you have it, boys and girls. Our pet tip of the day brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory. Yesterday I went over to Hy-Vee and got my little wagon and left. And as I did, I drove by a big, in the middle of Sheridan Village, a wide open space that once housed what store?
The candy store.
The Bergner store is correct. And I got to thinking, I thought, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to ask my distinguished panel. Let's distinguish Terry Chamberlain and
Well, they weren't here, so you got us, right?
and also, of course, Tyrus Gilliam. And this might be a little harder for Tyrus to join in because a kid is just a kid.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, remember,
What is your
25, you're a
favorite
kid.
store that closed?
Favorite store that closed?
What was it? That was the question, right?
Oh, wow.
Well, it'd have to be Bergner's. You could go back in the old days when I was a
That's
teenager.
where you got if you're going to be styling.
Well, you could get everything at Bergner's. They had a record section. You could go there and get records, and they had, of course, the toys, and they had clothes and shoes and everything. And then as years went on, they remodeled a little bit. It became a little more upscale. So the clothes became a little more upscale. The
Remember
records
Christmas
went
time?
away.
Remember Christmas time
Talking
at
Christmas
Bergner's?
tree?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my brother.
They had the display in the front window and everything.
Oh yeah, animated displays.
Uh-huh.
That, yep. Yeah, my mom spent a lot of time at Bergner's during the Christmas season, and my brother. Keep in mind, he was probably about 4 or 5 years old because he wasn't in school yet. He'd go and he'd sit in front of the talking Christmas tree. There was so much that the one girl said, "Oh, hi, Jimmy." She's got to know you.
That's my friend.
So, do you also agree, Bergner's, Gary?
Oh, store that closed. Yeah, the thing about Bergner's and Block and Cool and all those other places, they were downtown, and you could go there and get stuff that it was really up to date. What I liked about Bergner's was if I was going to be going out and get off work and I was going to dress up to hit the bars and stuff, I'd go there and pick out a real nice shirt, nice pair of pants, maybe a couple pairs of pants or whatever.
What store are you talking about?
Bergner's. Oh
Okay.
yeah, you went to that was the high class there, man. I mean, whatever they had there was what was in style right then.
Well, that's interesting because I miss even more than Bergner's Block and Cool.
Yeah, Block and
going
Cool.
down to Block and Cool
Bergner's, it's nice.
was a beautiful. Later, Carson Perry Scott.
Carson Perry
Block
Scott,
and Cool
yeah.
was the home of Santa Claus, and
Yeah,
Block
but he
and
had a little
Cool-
trouble getting up there one time.
Well, I understand that. And interesting, also, well, in the war of window displays at Christmas time, Block and Cool always won, in my opinion, because they was more. Well, I didn't say they weren't pretty good, but and another store that I miss is the Witzig's in Morton. We used to go when you talk about quality clothes, particular men's clothes or boys' clothes. That's where we would buy clothes for our boys. Another a store that was very popular, unfortunately closed, was Zoll's on the south side.
Right, Zoll's. I forgot about Zoll's. Yeah.
And a lot of people did. And their big issue, according to what the owner told my dad, who had the barber college right across the street, was shoplifting was absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
How about Kmart?
Yeah,
Or
Kmart
Big
and Morton was
K, or
a big store, but it was also was it the one where the grocery store is now?
Yeah.
Walgreens.
University.
Schnucks took over the area.
Walgreens on downtown, the soda fountain and everything.
Yeah, and also Kresge's also had
Kresge's.
a soda fountain, did they not?
They did.
Downtown Peoria.
And they had
then they were out at Sheridan Village as well.
Yep, and they had the fountain.
Who was the
Woolworths, Grant,
Woolworths was another
Woolworths
good
Grant?
store.
Yeah.
World Drug. That was
World
down in the
Drug.
corner. Grants.
Didn't World Drug actually have two stores downtown? One on South Adams between Franklin and Harrison, and then they had one where ICC wound up.
Yeah, I think you're right, Roger. I remember that.
And for 10 points, who were the owners? The two brothers.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Roger and
No.
the Monroe brothers.
No. One of the brothers wound up opening a restaurant at the fork in the road of Glen Oak and the street that went off to the side. Gosh, what was it?
Not the castle.
No, it was by St. Francis. If you were driving on Glen Oak headed
Hunters?
towards St. Francis, no, Hunters was down in North Madison.
Oh, way back as you're coming, and then you went this way, or
Yes,
you went
right,
that way.
yeah.
But
It
wasn't
was called the
Sotheby's?
Pines. It was Pines something, and it was owned by one of the brothers that used to own World Drug. I used to stop there and get supper to bring home. And they were wonderful. The wife was a very outspoken political person, and I can see her and I can picture her, but for the life I can't remember the name. But they actually had two World Drug on Adams.
My dad would go there for whorehounds. You know, the heaven.
Yeah, boy, those things.
They were good for you.
I mean, the whorehound candy.
Yeah,
Whorehound candy.
yeah. I'm with you on that. I couldn't understand why people would.
It was good for your throat.
They're supposed to be good for coughing.
Coughing,
It was
whatever.
nasty.
You could use those today. Play without on the- you know,
Every Illinois family needs to have in their homes an emergency disaster kit. Check out these answers. Water, can't live without it. Number 2, non-perishable food. Well, after all, a man got to eat, right? Number 3, weather radio, and make sure you got fresh batteries too. Number 4, flashlight, even more reason to have fresh batteries on hand. Number 5, first aid kit. Look, there's no reason to feud over what items to put in your family's emergency disaster kit. Get the answers and more at ready.illinois.gov. That's ready.illinois.gov.
Sponsored by the Illinois Emergency Management Agency, aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
All right, we're back, and we were talking about stores that have closed, and you're right, Gary. Sheridan Village put the knife in the back of downtown retail stores. Free parking, and that's something that you didn't get downtown, having to feed the meter when you were downtown shopping. But I will tell you, Christmas shopping was never better than downtown Peoria at one time.
Right.
You could shop at Block and Cool or Carson Perry Scott, and so many people cross Fulton Street to go in the side entrance to Bergner's
Right.
and shop there as well. The W.T. Grant store was very popular. Montgomery Ward was downtown. Sears and Roebuck downtown, where the Riverfront Museum is currently. Who else? Peoria Dry Goods, another one. Don't remember that one. I think that was at the corner of Liberty and Adams. And the commercial bank was like a scene in an old time movie with the tellers inside and what almost where you're walking on granite floors.
Or some kind of marble.
Yeah.
Same. Downtown, and they'd give stockings to all the kids, and I was put in charge of my brothers and sisters, and any other kid that my dad would lived in the neighborhood came by, and we'd just go in, and we'd be in there for a couple hours, watching movies and whatever.
Really?
And with the stockings and all that stuff. Meantime, mom and dad are out talking to Santa, getting all those Christmas gifts and stuff.
What theater was it?
Well, I like the Madison Theater, but there was the Palace, Rialto. All three of them were bought
All
up.
of them were great, weren't they?
Yep, but they had these big stockings, and then Sunday, the Caterpillar would buy the Bradley Fieldhouse.
Yeah, they would have Christmas in the field house.
Right, for Caterpillar. And it looked like the same stockings to me.
Yeah.
I think Caterpillar and UAW.
Did you go to it?
Oh, yeah, of course I did. I had to. My dad said, you're in charge.
Well, I guess you would be.
Well, except for we went to the field house. My dad went with us, and we weren't allowed to open up our bags and get out those noisy whistles.
Yeah, well, that was probably a good idea. But downtown Peoria was, and you're right.
Yes.
Walgreens was at it in the ground floor of the First National Bank building.
Yeah, they had a soda fountain there.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that had sold papers and magazines and stuff right there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You remember the family? They were brothers, and they had a newsstand at the corner of Knoxville and Jefferson, and not Knoxville,
Main.
Jefferson and Main.
Main, yeah.
Sorry, and Adams and Main Street.
Right. They ended up buying a lot of
Well, they died millionaires, I'm told.
Yeah.
But you remember the Hartman brothers?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
You're right.
It came to me out of the clear blue sky.
Brothers.
And I'm not even taking credit for it.
Get your paper here.
I don't know. And you remember some of the great restaurants, Bishop's Cafeteria,
I love
which was outstanding, and the Palace Cafeteria downstairs below the Palace Theater.
Betty actually went there for a little bit.
At the Palace or the
Yeah, when she
Bishop?
was a kid. At Palace. The Palace.
And what was the favorite pie of Bishop's that people died for almost?
chocolate silk.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And to this day, I do not understand, as popular as it was, why they went out of business. You have any idea? Anybody?
No, I guess that style just went out of fashion. I
Maybe they
guess.
had some bad onions.
No, I don't
That's
think
good.
I don't think they had anything bad
Yeah.
for that matter.
It could be that they couldn't get the help to work for the wage.
Well, who knows? And can you remember the number of banks that were downtown,
Oh,
or
man.
savings alone? They had First Federal, Jefferson Bank,
Commercial.
Southside Bank at the corner of Adams
Commercial
and
bank was there,
Main,
wasn't it?
Commercial bank, yeah.
and there was a bank, Associated Bank, and there was a bank, WPEO, was there as well. I'm sure we have some other people who remember things that
We're banking on
we're banking on it. Good morning.
Good morning, Roger.
Oh, we were hoping you would give us an update. A lot of the TV people were having seizures over the threat of severe storms. How? What do you see in your forecast? You what? He definitely. We lost.
Night. Dying out. Sorry?
We lost you.
We lost you for about 5 seconds. So again.
Good morning, Roger. How are you?
What do you see?
What I see is what's left over from an impressive line of storms that came across Nebraska and the Dakotas last night in the Minnesota. It's this decaying line, and it weakens. It's releasing this latent heat, which will cause a spin, this vortex in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. We call it a mesoscale convective complex or mesoscale vortex complex, MVC. So this energy, this vorticity, is actually going to be a good ingredient for additional storms to develop later this afternoon over our area, especially with the amount of instability with the high temperatures. It's going to be like the hottest day of the week. That we know. The winds are pretty much a non-factor. That we know. And we have a lot of moisture present in the lower and mid-levels of the atmosphere. So I see all the ingredients for a very stormy afternoon and evening. How much rainfall we get is really up in the air. There's a lot of water vapor at play right now in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, especially across western Illinois, central Illinois, and eastern Iowa. So I do expect storms to develop quite intensely. I think, starting off in Iowa, of course, as always. I think by 3 p.m. they're crossing the Mississippi River. And I think, by evening hours, we're looking at a potentially pretty active situation in our area. There is one question that's really coming into play in the models. I'll try to make this brief. But because it is so hot and humid, do we see a cap in the atmosphere for our part of the area? So the southern edge of that MVC complex. Do we see evening, if at all? And that really could be a factor as well. So something we need to watch. Right now, that capped atmosphere looks like it could be the real deal. It looks like the storms take place to the north of us, and maybe they develop overnight to the south of us in the overnight hours. And we might not see anything out of it. That's really going to be something that I'm definitely going to be keeping a watch on as the day continues.
Should we huddle in bomb shelters or what with these storms?
Well, especially if we do develop this afternoon, there will be individual supercells, so there will be tornado producers, especially with that spin up those crosswinds in the lower mid-levels of the atmosphere. But I think damaging wind, hail will be more the main focus, and hopefully some much-needed rain. We'll definitely take the rain. Really it's kind of where the storm's fire is, where we'll see most of the activity take place, and then points further east of there. Do we see the capped atmosphere prevail? Right now, with dew points as high as they are, and then with the
I don't know why, but he's cutting out
in the overnight hours.
Yeah, you're
unfortunately you're cutting out. Are you in your car or in your office or
no? I'm at the office.
I don't know why, but at any rate, we will expect. When do you think we should see the first touch of rainfall?
Touch of rainfall. See, again, if they develop in eastern Iowa, I would say after 5, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
But if they don't develop in eastern Iowa, if they're developed further north, then you might not see any rainfall. This one system will go to the north of us, overnight will go to the south of us, and we miss out entirely.
Well, in this case, we want the rain, don't we? Because as you said, the farmers need it in the fields.
We could use the timely rains, absolutely. We definitely.
All right.
Rains for the year. But Saturday and Sunday could be quite the soaker. So what we missed out on maybe tonight, we'll make up for over the weekend.
Okay, my friend, as usual, thanks for calling in. This is the famous Kyle Arnold, a well-known insurance professional who is also a 4-year educated meteorologist, and he wears that badge very proudly.
And when he talks weather, he sounds sexy.
You're thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Kyle. Have a great day. Appreciate it. God loves you, and so do we. Good night. Neat guy, and that's it for Breakfast with Roger and friends this morning as we continue and remind everybody we'll be there in the same place tomorrow. Everything, God willing, of course. In the meantime, thanks, Terry. You have tomorrow off. And also, Gary Hall, thank you. And Tyler's. And in the meantime, everybody, have a great day. And a little reminder, as we always say, we just got through saying God loves you, and so do we. I want to say good morning to Lauren and her daughter Bree from Kansas City. We're 100% to the end of the show to Kansas City. We'll see you tomorrow. So long, everybody.
Kansas City, yeah. They got some crazy little women there, and I'm gonna get me one. Gonna be stand on the corner, 12th Street and 1. Gonna be stand on the corner, 12th Street and 1. There's my Kansas City baby and my Kansas City wife. Well, I might take a train, I might take a plane, but if I'm to walk, I'm going to stay. Going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. They got some crazy little women there, and I'm gonna get me one. Ah, but you know you have much better.